I haven't seen this yet. I was just scrolling through and I fast forwarded looking for a thumbnail. I thought it was a pretty decent thumbnail. It's a little, there's a lot going on because it's 3 thumbnails instead of 1, maybe 4. But clickbait slash rage bait. I also watched this video from the beginning, so to speak, and that was not a good video for me. At the time, I believed what I was saying, and I think it was kind of on point in terms of Mexicoo's not being good, but we'll get that later. We'll get into that in a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and wait a bit so folks can pile in. Gotta be level-headed. Ow. I feel like I didn't tear anything in the gym, but I definitely messed up my forearm somehow. First stream in a few days. I'm not sure why. Just haven't really. I feel like when I don't play Helldivers 2, I just don't feel the need to stream. Weird. It's like a mental block I can't get over. What is this? Reacting to. Sure. We'll do that. What's up, No Guard, Robert, Mary? How y'all be? So this is going to be an hour-long GDC conference talk conducted with, or piles of the speakers, so Shams Jorjani, who I believe is the current CEO for Arrowhead, and one other dude I forgot the name of. It might be similar to what we saw before with Shams' interview. Forget who it was with. I know who it looks like. I'm so bad with names, but I'm very good with faces. It's strange. So excited for the announcement of the announcement I heard. Oh, that one? Yeah. Everyone's already speculating that the flag is a spear because it has a point at the end and a handle in the middle. What up, JC? What it do? What up, Charles? So this starts off with a black screen. Okay, quickly goes into not black screen. There might be some freaking absolute mega brain topics in this video. I wonder who compiled all this stuff though. I don't want any more melee weapons, honestly. I don't mind melee weapons. And a spear could be kind of fun. Depends though. How funny would it be if the announcement said the update is coming at May 29th? No shot. Drama drives engagement, much like a good game or movie. I'm gonna say this right now though, before we get into this. I don't like the idea of clickbait and rage bait being tied to anything that comes off as negative. Like this video was not me making it for the sake of, maybe I was trying to be negative, like I was in like a negative mood, but it wasn't because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clickbait or rage bait people. In Helldivers 2, you make more money if you say everything's good, just by the way. Been the case for a long time. I don't see it changing either. We can check the interview. Here. Oh, yeah. So speakers are Damien Morik, Shams, and Johan. I don't want to say their last names because I will probably butcher them. And it's an overview. Join Arrowhead, the acclaimed developer behind the hit Helldivers 2, as they delve into us and them, their philosophy for fostering healthy relationships with players and partners. I think it means partners as in Sony and them. The session will provide a deep dive into the challenges and opportunities of managing a large and passionate community following a successful game launch. .NN topics will include understanding the needs and dynamics of the player community, using community feedback to enhance game development, and establishing effective communication strategies to engage with players meaningfully. Community management into a powerful tool. Oh. Their unique perspective on turning community management into a powerful tool for creating better games and lasting partnerships. This keynote is a must-attend for anyone looking to navigate the complexities of community engagement in the modern gaming industry. Word. Okie dokie. Update wait was so long, I started playing Warframe again. I mean, that's wise. I've got to take like a semi-break from games, so to speak, but recently I've been playing a bunch of Overwatch 2. The new stadium mode's actually fun. I've been destroying with Orisa. First, I made a double javelin build, or a one-shot combo build, where I use 2 javelins and kill squishies across the map. It's actually hilarious. And since then, I checked out like an Orisa tank build. It was alright. But my favorite build is just an Orisa weapon damage, where I melt everything. But I get blown up, so. Gotta pick your battles. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. This might be loud. Boom. Holy. How loud could it be?
Hello, hello. Welcome to our 3rd edition of the Community Clubhouse.
That music was so loud.
Real quick, before we jump into everything, one of my co-founders with me wanted to ask, how many of you have been to Community Clubhouse before? 1, 2.
I've never even heard of it until right now.
How many of this is your first one? Looks like a bunch of you, huh? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. My name's Ben Williams. I'm one of the co-founders of Community Clubhouse. I also work at Xbox with a tool called Community Sift, which fits directly in.
Is it rude to skip this? He took his time to make this introduction and talk to people. Is it bad to skip forward? Holy smokes, Dozer was right.
To fill out that survey.
There's more than 90
we'll
seconds.
A slide up there that has like a QR code for you guys to scan, and you can do the survey. That is the last for me, and I will pass it over to our team here for us and them, and everybody give them a work of applause.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Damien, working for Sega. I'm not going to be talking today. I'm just here as a presenter, but I wanted to thank Johan, co-founder and creative director for Arrowhead, the team who worked on the successful launch of Helldivers 2, and today is going to talk to us about how the team is managing its community, ups and downs, and I think it's a pretty good talk for this morning. Welcome to Community Clubhouse.
You can't hear the passion, but you can kind of see it in his face. He sounds like he doesn't. He sounds like he doesn't want to be there. But I think it could just be his nationality, perchance.
Thank you, Damien. Cool. So let's just kick this off with let's look at some stuff. Audio.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait.
Of course.
Wait.
Well, most of you have probably seen this.
No, okay, some of these, I'm going to get 100% DMCA struck. You can look up your own trailers on your own time. We're skipping all that. Ain't no way. PlayStation won't come after me. There's no shot.
Okay, so what is this talk going to be about? Well, I'm really here to tell you a couple of things. The first one is just a recap of Helldivers' first year of existence. And then let's look at how we interact with our community, how we talk to them, how we listen to them, and how we just generally approach that entire thing. But before we start, let's just talk a little bit of who we are, who Arrowhead is.
Hey, sounds like me up there. It's a tragedy, man. I don't like that I can't speak. It hurts me to my core.
Whichever. So Arrowhead has existed for 16 years or something like that, which is crazy to think of. We're currently around 140, 150 developers. We of course started back in the day with Magicka, which was released in 2011 maybe. And really what happened during the days of Magicka is that we really learned how to interact with our community in a sustainable way. The launch of Magicka was a total train wreck. We had so many crashes, so many bugs, nobody could play the game. The forums were going crazy saying like, this game is so broken. And what we did at that point is that we made a commitment to the community to patch the game every day until it was playable. And some 15 patches later, so 15 days later, the people that were cracking the game and putting it up on Pirate Bay, they wrote a message saying, hey guys, it's taking too long for us to re-crack this game every time these crazy developers release a patch. So therefore, this is the last crack for Magica, and it's only $10, go buy the game. And that sort of triggered something in our brains. It's like, we see the community as some kind of monolithic thing going on where it's like, it's unchanging and there's bad actors and so forth. But with compassion, I think that we can enact change in our communities and actually, by listening to players. And of course, this is something that transitioned through all of the games that we did. And I think Helldivers 2 became the culmination of how we approach the community and approach working together with the community. Okay, so our motto as a studio is a game for everyone is a game for no one. And really what we mean by that is we make niche games for our target audience, and we only focus on them. So therefore, it means that we have by stating that, we can then be selective when it comes to who do we listen to. Like, we don't care too much about the person that's playing, Candy Crush and then has feedback on Helldivers. We care about the person that's really into Helldivers and wants that game to be better. And we don't want to change the game into something that it's not. Anywho, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Who am I then? Well, my name is Pilestedt. I'm one of the founders of Arrowhead. I used to be the CEO for 16 years or so. No longer. Thank God. I fortunately hired a very good mate of mine, Shams Gioriani, who was supposed to be here and deliver this talk. And I was supposed to be in the Four Seasons bar and drinking. But apparently his dear wife got the flu, and she is 8 months pregnant, so he had to either decide to go to GDC or take care of his family. And he made a wise choice, the right choice, of taking care of his family. So, unfortunately, I would have loved to have him here. And if you're watching, Shams, miss you. So, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Actually, this is the appetizer to the meat and potatoes. Helldivers 2, then. How many in this room have played Helldivers? Sizable amount.
Okay.
Salute you.
The fact that there was not hearing any applause or claps freaked me out. I'm guessing they just raised their hands, which is more polite, but normally you hear like applause. Maybe they're told not to do that.
And for the rest of you, Helldivers 2 is a pretty hardcore, it's really a mill sim.
He's not watching. What am I supposed to respond to? Oh, thank heavens he went to go help out his wife like a normal person would do. There's been nothing to really comment on yet. What are you talking about?
Mill sim shooter in the styles of Tarkov, Arma, and whatnot, but with a fun dressing on top and accessibility, some accessibility and usability, which means that we are tricking the entire community and every gamer into playing a more hardcore game than they thought they would be playing.
What do you say?
Helldivers 2, then. How many in this room have played Helldivers? Sizable amount. Salute you. And for the rest of you, Helldivers 2 is a pretty hardcore, it's really a mill sim shooter in the styles of Tarkov, Arma, and whatnot, but with a fun dressing on top and accessibility, some accessibility and usability, which means that we are tricking the entire community and every gamer into playing a more hardcore game than they thought they would be playing.
That part is true. I don't think many folks thought they were signing up to play a game where every mob two-shots you. Wilbur, two-shot. Pouncer, two-shot. Alpha Commander, possibly a one-shot if there's the acid modifier in play. And it honestly does feel... The aim is comparable to Tarkov in the sense if you're moving, good luck hitting your shots, on an assault rifle especially. But the game is not a milsim. It's a horde shooter.
One of the kickers of Helldivers is, of course, that the entire community plays together against the enemy. There's no PvP, so that means that the only person you can get mad at is, well, of course, your teammates, but also the computer.
What the? Yo, I can't pause videos. Spacebar. What do you mean there's no PvP? I died on my teammates on cooldown. These people toss in a barrage, their eyes closed, monitor turned off, power went out or something, and then I die to it almost always. Fighting on capture flag point, murking a bunch of bugs or bots. All of a sudden, I'm dead, and I read my teammate's name at the bottom, and I look and I see a red beam with a timer on it. Napalm Barrage, the objective, with the one person on it actually trying to capture. No PvP. There's PvP. They're just not queued for it.
Or the developer.
Or the developer. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, so Helldivers 2 has had a crazy year. I think this summary from the community is the right way of representing sort of this year. It's whenever we did something good, we waited 2-3 weeks, and then we did something extremely bad. So it's a constant oscillation between we're so back and it's over, this game is dead. We had a crazy launch. Like, the game broke so many records. We're one of the fastest selling games, PlayStation games, or the fastest selling. That's at least what's being repeated, where we sold 12 million copies in 12 weeks, which far surpassed the analytics expectation of between 3 and 6 million lifetime. So it's been a little bit of a surprise to us, to PlayStation, to the gamers as well, in how well received Helldivers was. In the beginning, we had like a massive problem hosting all of the players. We hit our max CCU at 750,000 users, to the point where, and the problem with that was, of course, that we've dimensioned our servers for 150,000. So they broke completely at launch. And it's one of those, like, it's over. This game is dead on arrival. To then our backend engineers completing the impossible task of getting everybody in. But not only that, like, continuing to beyond launch, we had all the right ingredients for the game. We had so much content that was almost done as well, so we could just rapid fire, get new content out there, and people were loving it. They were eating it up. But eventually, at some point, we started doing some mistakes. And those mistakes compounded, and there was a lot of confusion internally at the studio. And everybody's been working on the game for 7 years, 11 months, and 26 days. So everybody was super tired. So a lot of the core team went on vacation. New hires just had to take the reins of the game and didn't have the right history and so forth. So really what happened during those times is that we managed to go down, and from a user score of hovering around 90 down to 49% positive, of which the most recent was 16%. And in that kind of celebration of like, yeah, we did it, Helldivers is doing really well, to accidentally doing some bad decisions that turned out to infuriate the entire community, the entire PC community. Over time as well, like those 750,000 CCU bottomed out at around 15,600 something users. And it's like, at this point, everybody's saying, this is over. We are so dead.
I hear that a lot still on TikTok. If I post any content for Helldivers 2, folks still play this game? I thought this game was dead, bro. Drives me insane. But I feel as though the writing was on the walls for people getting upset the moment they made their first update. It just took a long time for players to actually catch on to what was happening. And it was only after all the compounding additional changes they made that took the game in a negative direction that people finally realized and woke up that they had a not great time. Like, they were finally aware that they were not enjoying the game the same way they were a few months back. It took for freaking ever, though. It took until like May, April-ish.
But
also, no cape. Where's it at?
We persevered, and through updates, continuous attention with the community, we managed to claw ourselves back. We recovered big time. We closed the year at a super strong return of over 200,000 CCU and a recent user score of 94% positive. And this is something GDC talk about how we did that, but the role the community played in this and how we work with them. And I think if you take one thing from this talk, you live and die by your community in a game like this. Remember that always. Cool. So just to set the stage a little bit more, the beating heart of Helldivers is the Galactic War. It's the community war that everybody plays together. So the Galactic War is just planets in space. They're really a health bar that the community contributes to. So the more the players play, the health bar goes down, and then it regenerates if players aren't playing on that planet. The better they do, the more damage they do to that planet. But also, in addition to this, it's also the meta layer where we get to control the narrative of the game. So we post updates saying like, well, you need to take this planet for this reason, and if the community managed to do so, the next step of the story is unlocked, or alternatively, if they fail, the story goes on a separate path, managed by our Game Master team over at Arrowhead. But to truly understand what the Galactic War is and how it's impactful from a community perspective, I'm going to share with you a couple of stories that happen in the Galactic War.
Before that, he mentions community, and I still to this day don't really know what community Arrowhead is really making the game for, because even in Shams' interview, with, I forget who it was with, I know what it looks like, I just don't know who he was talking to, he mentioned in a hyperbolic statement that the game, that 6 million COD players were playing Helldivers 2, but they didn't make the game for 6 million COD players. So I still don't quite know who they made the game for, because they're obviously very ecstatic that so many folks bought the game. And in that number of people that bought the game, there are a plethora of people that don't particularly love the direction it's gone. Which is why we have so many instances of we're so back and we're so dead happening.
Anybody remember Malevolent Creek? Yeah. So Malevolent Creek for us was just
one guy.
We have, I don't know how many variants of planets we have, but well over hundreds. And we had made one planet. We didn't think too much of it. It was just called Malevolent Creek. It was a jungle planet, dark, moody, broody. But this planet was attacked by the automatons, so the evil robots in Helldivers. And the community got hell-bent on protecting this planet or saving this planet, to the point where it became one of the most grueling wars. I mean, if putting it into historical terms, it was like Vietnam, but 50 times worse. And that is exactly what the community recognized. So the community engagement around Malevolent Creek and how important it was for the zeitgeist of the community became sort of a meme unto its own. The community took notice of the amount of Helldivers that died on this planet. I mean, we're talking about millions of soldiers lost fighting for this backwaters jungle planet.
Okay, that makes more sense. I don't know. For me, anytime I hear like a comparison between war and video games, I'm like, my brain doesn't doesn't quite comprehend the comparison. But if you're talking reference to how many folks, never mind. That's still not a good comparison.
To the point where the community does it autoplay. God damn it. Okay.
Wait.
Made this.
No DMCA, right? Surely. Surely not. This has got to be Twitter compression. Nah, never mind. This is 100% DMCA. We're not demonetization. No compression, just atmospheric effects. This is before the storm.
and we don't have video tools in the game. This is somebody that just played the game and managed to capture all the shots. I think the player, he said that he recorded over 1,000 hours of footage to put this together. And, you know, I mean, we see this all the time. Community, they really care about whatever is going on, and especially when we have that kind of connection with the community where they all come together.
I'm not saying that wasn't a good video, but 1,000 hours might be true, but when was it released? There's no shot that's 1,000 hours of footage. There's just, that's, nah. That is excessive. That is hyperbolic. Because I record gameplay all the time. 1,000 hours of game, no, there's no way. Yeah, nope, that was a lie. That boy lied to you.
This person wanted to encapsulate sort of the feeling of what it was to be there at Malevolent Creek during those times. So the community threw everything at the planet, but ended up losing it in the end. And the planet got cut off, and there were still about 2,000 Helldivers on the planet when that happened. And it was one of the first times when the community realized that, oh, the Arrowhead is not joking. This is for real. Like, the consequences in the Galactic War are actually real.
It's 1,000 hours.
Story
I can't get over that.
Was we had a reward during a major order called where if they completed it as a community, everybody would unlock a new stratagem, so our tools that players use. And that was the anti-tank mines. And we gave it as a reward if they completed the major order. So if you successfully take a tough planet, they will receive these anti-tank mines. They failed. And this upset the community because they're like, what? Are you now also locking us out of content because we fail? I was like, yes, why not? So
that's pretty based. I like that a lot. It's actually cool whenever they don't just give you the carrot on the stick, so to speak. They give you a task to complete within reason. Sometimes they overshoot it, something fierce, and they kind of have to help us out because, well, they just overestimate how many folks will come back and play the new major orders and so on and so forth. But for the anti-tank mines, I do believe at a certain point, people realized they weren't that good because we were using them, given the free missions. You'd have it for free on certain missions. You'd use it. They're blowing themselves up because they were triggering on players, and they weren't that useful against the big dudes for a while. And back then, it had like a 3-minute cooldown, which was not good for mines in general. Still, 1,000 hours, bro? That person was lying through their teeth. Oh my gosh.
We did a reprise.
Can't get over that.
Next week, we gave the community another chance of getting this. But they once again failed this major order. And the community got a little bit more spice, and they're like, are they for real? Like, we lost 2 major orders to get these anti-tank mines. At this point, I don't even want them. But then we put a new major order. And we made it super simple. Like, it was an easy planet to take over, and then surely you will get the anti-tank mines. But simultaneously, we also decided that it's going to be a little bit boring to do that. So we added another planet, and we created a story around a children's hospital on this planet. I mean, it was just a narrative device. But the trick was that the community could only choose one. Do you complete the major order and get the anti-tank mines, or do you complete this order and save imaginary children? And the community...
Notice, keyword here, imaginary children, okay? If we knew we would be helping real children, obviously I wouldn't have said to go for anti-tank mines over the children all day, all night, which I did, but it was imaginary children, okay? I still stand by that decision. They weren't real at the time. Moving forward.
Shows the children. So, as a means for that, the community started generating a lot of buzz around saving the children. And we recognized this fact and like, what can we do with this? How can we play with the community and interact with them more? So we ended up donating $4,311 to save the children. And the community reacted and said like, but are you for real? Like, if we had chosen anti-tank mines, that actually meant that real children were on the line. And it's like, well, yeah, to some degree you could argue that, but it's just one of those fun mechanisms in how we can toy with the community and play with them and actually do positive change in the world as well. Okay. And then lastly, Planet Mort is an interesting one. It's one of the less remembered planets.
What is Mort? I know Mort from Madagascar. I don't know Mort from Helldivers 2 at all. If the person that lied about the 1K hours put a freaking DMCable song in that video, I'm going to freak out, okay, first and foremost.
Mort was just another major order. We've been just alive, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. The automatons were attacking, and the Helldivers had to defend it. And this was the closest event in the game's history up until that point. The players had 48 hours to defend Mort and were predicted to win by a slim margin, but just barely. The way the game works, we can predict how long, with how much, by how much in time they would win. So around 20 minutes was the estimated, like this is, if they don't, I can't even explain this. Whatever, 20 minutes is basically the mark of how long it would, the grace period for them to win. And however, as the battle raged on the defense became more and more desperate.
This is the most relatable I've ever heard someone talk at a conference. I love this, dude. This is me daily. I feel validated. I feel validated. See?
And suddenly something happened.
See? It's tough.
Everybody got this. Please wait democratically. And we started going like, are our servers down? What's going on? But this wasn't our fault. A lot of things are, but this wasn't our fault.
PlayStation.
And the people over at PlayStation didn't know either. It's like, PlayStation was fine. And it's like, what is going on?
Whose
like
fault?
The game is crapping the bed, and players have 20 minutes left to actually get back in the game and play the shit out of this planet. It was our friend, Gabe.
Steam?
It was the scheduled Steam maintenance that kicked everybody out of the game when there were 20 minutes left on the clock. This is our player count during that time. And the community, of course, got rightly upset. It's like, lol, are you kidding me? It's so over, rip Mort, Steam maintenance. And the community, they were really in shambles. They were upset with us as well. It's like, this is bullshit. You need to change it. You need to give us back the time. And we're like, agnostic. It's like, well, it's a war. It's like, if you can't connect to your destroyer. And the projected win turned into a projected loss. And the PC players pleaded to the PlayStation players. It's like, please fix this. Play as much as you can. And then suddenly, it came back. Steam came back, and the community rallied. Everybody could come back in. And the community had figured out that if you, at the end of the mission, complete all the mission objectives, but you don't go to the extraction zone, instead you mass kill yourself, it will be faster and you'll push the planet faster than if you play it normally. So what started happening is that we created, or the community created, this sort of pact that no Helldivers would get off this planet. Instead, it would just be about saving Mort. Precious time was needed to be saved, and this was in the interest of democracy. And finally, the community managed, through their shady tricks, take Mort with only, I think it was a minute to spare, or something like that. It came down to like seconds.
Okay, that's pretty genius. They decided to waste all the reinforcements so that way you wouldn't have to wait 3 minutes. Actually, it could be longer than that. If you had the previous 100% increase to call-in time, which also affects your Pelican evacuation timer, you go from a 2-minute evacuation to 4 minutes. You can burn through all your reinforcements way faster than that. And you don't have to walk to the extraction zone to call it in the first place. Genius.
And the community was, of course, ecstatic. And I think the magic of working
can't
together with the
breathe.
community and rolling with the punches, adjusting to them, and also being there to celebrate in their greatest moments is something that's extremely valuable. And to us, like internally in the studio, everybody was just sitting there with popcorns. And it's like, I wonder how this is going now. And some of us, of course, were trying to help the community. Yeah. So the Discord exploded. But it cost something. This was the second war for Malevolent Creek, which they incidentally had to abandon, and they lost Malevolent Creek a second time. But you roll with the punches. Okay. So this is really the heart of the keynote. Well, speech, talk, whatever. The reason why community talks to you is because they're still interested in the game. If people stopped caring, they would just have left the game and abandoned it. The energy that it takes to go online and actually give feedback is something that we need to cherish.
Write that down. All right? Write that down right now. There's gonna be something real soon that I feel that is targeted towards me a little bit.
The Helldivers community
I thought I paused it. My man froze.
That not only cares because they love the game, but because we as developers, through community mechanics, as we've seen, taught them to work together, to bond that community stronger. So whenever I go in the world, I get the Helldivers salute whenever I'm wearing a Helldivers t-shirt. And I have this kind of profound bond with everybody that plays Helldivers. It's like, yeah, we've been there. We know what it's like when the extraction timer is ticking down and you're down to your last lives, really trying to complete this one mission. And the problem that one of the problems that we manufacture as well is that since we taught the entire community to work together, they also work together when we do something wrong. Which in the beginning we were like, this is dumb. Like, why did we teach the community to rally and mass review bomb the game through our game mechanics? But
didn't Twinbeard, previous community manager, say to leave a bad review? Or allude to doing that back then? I could be misremembering, but I feel that happened. No, it wasn't him. It was a different person that was also in the Discord mod team, I believe, and he got canned. But I don't think the best reason. I think he was the one that said to just leave bad reviews, essentially. Was it Spitz? It was Spitz. That was the name.
After a while, we started realizing this is actually a super strength of the community. They are active. It's like having a democracy where everybody turns out to vote. It's a strength, not a weakness. It's a feature, not a bug. Okay, but how do we actually approach then community in Helldivers 2? Because with such a large community and such a vocal community, there's bound to be a lot of people that say stuff. When we think about the community, we think of like the community. But really, we have to think about who talks and for what reason.
I talk a lot.
Around 1.5% of players have reviewed Helldivers or review games on Steam, and around 1% of our community reviewed Helldivers 2, even with the review bombing. We have 1 million players on Discord, which represents about 7% of the total player base. Most players are content with just playing the game, talking to their friends on their personal Discords, and not feedback and not comment on what you're doing. So, I mean, we have all heard about the vocal minority, and that is exactly what this is. It's a sliver. But sometimes people say the vocal minority in a way where they point to it and saying like, well, it's only the vocal minority. It's, yeah, but is that representative of the community at large? Which is a very good question, right? And the way that we think of it at Arrowhead is this. Why do players speak up? Either you have negative or positive. So negative is at that point, they do it to enact change, to warn others, through Steam reviews, or to troll. Some people just like to hate. And then the positive ones are just to encourage us as developers to connect with others and show gratitude.
Is it a negative to enact change? I feel like change is a positive thing in life in general. Like, you can do it for the wrong reasons, but the idea of change itself is a positive thing. Warning others, I don't know if that's negative either. I guess I'm maybe misunderstanding the point of negative in this context. Trolling is negative, yeah. You're just trying to say things to get people riled up. But warn others, it depends. People can do it for the wrong reason. They can say, you shouldn't play this game, it's terrible. I mean, I may have done that for Space Marine 2. 4 out of 10, by the way. But enact change, that's a harder one to sort of say is a negative thing.
Which one do you guys think is the most frequent reason why anybody would contact a developer?
Negative, all day.
Right?
All
And it's
day.
kind of what we found. It's
Easy.
like around 4 out of 5, and it might be even be larger than that. It might be 9 out of 10, but for the sake of argument, it's around 20% that say something nice, while as 80% say something bad when it happens. But people interact when they care. So if we do nothing and everything's just floating around, like going great, most of the time people will just play the game and be content with it. There needs to be a trigger, a mechanism for people to start interacting on the level where they speak up and actively engage with us in a hardcore way. And
not my best video, honestly. It was not very cohesive, but I still think when the mech suits launched, they were not very good. Patriot exosuit, I liked it before it got nerfed. So honestly, this one, it bothered me too. And the reason why I was upset when I made this video is because they had just recently made it to where you couldn't take both mech suits, I believe. It could have been after. But when you're using the mech suit, you get blown up instantly. Just didn't really feel that engaging. So I to this day still think that Emancipator was not good on launch. So that's just my 2 cents. Also, in Helldivers 2, you make more money when you say nice things about the game. Just keep that in mind. It's been true since the game came out. It'll be true for
a lot
while.
of times this is what's referred to as clickbait or rage bait. But really what this comes down to is that drama drives engagement. So there's an incentive for players to say things in a hyperbolic way to get people to engage more. And this then, of course, spirals out of control, especially if it's negative. It has a tendency to go into these loops where this message gets reinforced and so forth. So a lot of times this is valid criticism, but covered in hyperbole statements. So what you have to do as developers is really just think about what is it that they're actually saying, and then filter away the drama component.
That's fair. I can respect that. Maybe the exosuit wasn't terrible, so to speak, but it wasn't good. That'd been a nicer way to phrase it. And for the longest time, I tried to not use hyperbolic statements in my titles and whatnot. These days, I stopped caring. I'll throw insane in every title video, because why not? If it works, it works. But I think there was a time where I'd say this wasn't good, this wasn't great, and things of that nature. Or I'd say it's insane, kind of. That was in reference to the crossbow way back when.
And then actually hear what the community means. And then sometimes when it comes to community feedback or what the community is saying, there are financial interests, like YouTubers that need to earn a living, and they do that by creating these kind of clickbait titles where they earn, of course, money from.
Hello? What? Can I disable this on Windows? It's gonna tick me off something fierce. I drag it up here, and it wants, like, I'm going to the... Okay, we fixed it. You earn money on clickbait. All right, so this video didn't take me a whole lot of effort to make. Made 184, which isn't nothing, but I'm only gonna get 70% of that because taxes, by the way. And I would have made a lot more money if it was positive, because these days people don't necessarily want to go on the internet to see things that are negative, especially for a game that's so well revered. The folks that don't care about Helldivers tend to stop playing it. The people that love it and are looking for any copium possible, they want positive messages, which is also why I haven't released this video quite yet. Helldivers 2, worst designed mobs in the game. I'll get a better title, but I haven't released that yet because I don't want to be negative. I don't want to stir the pot. Been done for a few days.
From the amount of views that they have. Okay. So when we have a lot of players, it's easy to see the community as one whole. But really, with Helldivers, we have around 4 million monthly active users or somewhere thereabouts. And those are like 4 million individual people, like all of us in this room. We can look at each other. And then when you think about 4 million people, it's like they are not like one single unit of something. It's like individual opinions across the board. So we have to appreciate the differences in the community and actually get to the heart of the issue. I've heard several designers that say, well, the community said so. And it's like, all of them? Really?
90% of the community that talks are people that think the exact same. It is 100% a hive mind. And you can see it too. Part of it I can respect when people can break down numbers and they can analyze something and tell you how many shots it takes to kill something. And it gives it more validity to a thing being good, for instance. Because what you see a lot of in this game is people will say that X weapon is really good. You just don't understand how to use it quite yet. Meanwhile, that weapon just doesn't do well in comparison to a whole plethora of other options that exist in the game. It's sort of like someone saying, assault rifles are really good, guys. They're just requiring of a different play style. Change your build to make it work. That statement works with some things, but not for assault rifles. There's other guns that they say the same thing for, and it's a bit more interesting than that. But the point stands that people are trying their best to make it seem as though everything has a use and has a reason to exist when that's not necessarily true. A lot of things are made for the sake of making it. It's content at the end of the day. It's sort of like whenever creators make videos that aren't that good because they want to post that day. I believe the same thing happened with a lot of assault rifles that feel the exact same, with very slight differences. Don't release the video, he basically called you broke. It's time to go band for band. I don't think that'd be wise to go band for band with anybody on Arrowhead's payroll currently. Yo, Ace, thanks to 5, brother. Just change the RPM. Yeah, things of that nature too. And what I despise to this day is people, they'll make excuses for things that legit you can't. The guns are misaligned. No, bro, it's height over bore. Or they'll say that shots aren't supposed to go where you're aiming. They're supposed to go to the left or to the right. Meanwhile, the devs end up fixing those discrepancies because they're not working the way they want them to in the first place. But the players are essentially lying. A lot of the players lie on the devs' behalf, which is just immeasurable amounts of cope that I don't think is healthy for the game.
Everybody has hive mind together and then make a decision. And thinking about that, like, who speaks up? If you see somebody saying, like, this gun sucks, and it's like 4 out of 5 that speak up are saying something negative. But then you have individual beliefs. So when you then fix that gun, a lot of the other players will rise up and say, why did you ruin this gun? It was great to begin with.
We're cooked. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're cooked. Not necessarily. Remember whenever they buffed Senator and people were saying the Senator's now OP, it's a broken gun, takes no skill, a whole bunch of nonsense. Meanwhile, there's not many folks that use a Senator, but right now it's actually a gun that does stuff. It's not a bad gun. It's a good gun. It has a use that makes it interesting. Versus, let's say it stayed medium pin. I would never use it. Why would I ever use that gun? Same reason why I don't use any other sidearm for the most part. I'm rocking utility sidearms. Stim pistol, for instance. I'll use that over the Redeemer. I'll take stim pistol, grenade pistol, and ultimatum. I'll take those 3 every day of the week over the majority of other things. And I'll take Senator when I want to go first to bots because I can actually kill them in a decent time frame with a weapon. But I still can't get over how people said it was broken because it has heavy pin, as if that was even close to a true statement. That's just how a lot of folks think, though.
and they didn't speak up because they have no incentive to do so. Okay, so players show their frustration, even being toxic, and we've been sent death threats and so forth. And it can be easy for us as developers to harden in our view and become negative of our community. But we need to be very careful about this. Just because one person sends us like something that's really toxic or even like to the point of a death threat, that doesn't mean that the entire community should suffer from that. We have to have that kind of maturity to look at the community and see that one single person's actions does not reflect on all of them. And we fight this by remembering that the reason why we make games is for other people to enjoy and have a good time. I mean, it's the core, it's the reason why all of us are here. It's to make other people happy by playing video games. But we've had several instances where we get pissed back at the community. And it's like one person says something and then we lash out at the community. And some of the swings that you saw in the beginning of like, it's so over, is accidentally where a developer goes out and says something really bad to the community, and then they double down on that and really create like this massive drama around something that didn't even need to be drama.
In my defense, I never played into that stuff because I didn't care. If devs got angry, they got angry. I don't care. As long as they're not being too crazy and out of pocket, I just wanted the game to be fun. That's all I really wanted to have happen. So I can say that I never got involved with that drama like some hooligans did.
But the community, when they speak up, they are trying to tell us something. And I like to view this as us having to be diagnosed the problem. I see us and the community as having a doctor-patient relationship. So when the community says, actually, if I go to the doctor and I say, hey, doctor, I have a headache, it's brain cancer. The doctor would be very bad if he says, no, go home. And likewise, the doctor would be very bad if he immediately says, or she immediately says, okay, let's start you on chemo. It's like, neither of these are the right answer. Instead, the doctor should say, I hear you, I understand that you're hurting, let's look into this. What are your other symptoms? And then ask them more. Try to find the answer to what is the problem. Just because the community can't diagnose whatever is going on in the game doesn't mean that they're not hurting. So one of these...
That was a better description of the whole doctor versus patient than I heard previously. Because I heard before, it was more along the lines of, we're the doctor, you're the patient, we can fix the problem, which is still true. I can't code in the game. Can y'all code in the game? Can y'all make changes to it? I can't. Oh wait, some folks can mod it, so they can. Like, that's technically true. But as long as there's no idea of God status in the sense that the devs always know best, like, that's where it gets to be potentially bad. If it's like doctor knows best, devs know best, that's the part I disagree with heavily.
One of the it's so over moments was when the balance team rebalanced some of the weapons in the game. And what they did is they tried to get the power balance and everybody to try out more gear. That was their objective. So they started balancing it, and internally it's like, yeah, this works. And then we released that update, and the community got really upset. They're like, oh, you're nerfing everything, you're destroying the game, the developers must be stopped. And we were like, why are they saying this? The game is more balanced now and sort of better tuned than it was at launch. But what the community was saying was not that all the guns should be, unbalanced. What they were saying is that we didn't live up to the promise that we made to them. So maybe the text is a little bit small, but on the back side of the box for the game, it says, spread democracy with overpowered weapons. And we had just balanced all of the weapons so they were under the line of what would be considered overpowered. So the community, they were saying, like, you guys are ruining this game, you guys suck at developing games. And what they meant was, hey, I think with the recent change... I
think they meant what they said. It wasn't nice.
changes,
What they meant
a
was,
little bit too far
some of
away
those
from
folks
the
meant what they
original
said.
premise of what the game is supposed to be. And we could understand this by talking to the community and getting to understand what they were saying. Some people said that the more articulate ones was like, these are no longer guns, these are airsoft guns. It's like, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You're saying it in a strange way, but I get it.
What? How? Okay, it could be a language barrier of sorts, but Nerf guns is a great analogy. I think at one point in time I said that we feel like dumpster babies that were given Nerf guns from Temu. And there was a time where that was 100% the case. Right now, it's kind of similar, but we upgraded from Temu to Amazon. Still not getting the military-grade weaponry we need, but some things have been improved.
Secondly, for instance, we dropped this exosuit, so this mech that players can control. And the expectation of it with 4 autocannons was that it was going to be the best at killing big things. Unfortunately, this one player showed that it took half of the ammo of this single-use high-powered stratagem to bring down one enemy.
Yeah, but I was clickbaiting and rage baiting when I said the Emancipator exosuit's bad. Yeah, my bad, brother. That's on me. I was clickbaiting and rage baiting for money. Yep, you got me. 100%. What is that, dude?
One Bile Titan, well, when you could, in reality during a mission, maybe face off against 4 or 5. And this community member was articulate and really good at describing his frustrations. Like, I understand that it shouldn't just be a win-all situation when you're using this. But I've been taught in games that if I shoot something in the mouth, it does more damage. So it's like, of course that should be the way. So we immediately fixed that and pushed out that to the community, and everybody was super happy about it. There were less articulate people that said, Patriot exosuit sucks.
Hey, I articulate pretty good, I'll have you know. He's throwing shade at me? Let me catch you in the game right now. 1v1, mono and mono. Let's see who does better in Super Helldive. Huh? Out here talking mad smack. I wasn't very articulate in that video, okay? I will give you that much. But the mech suit did suck. This proved it. Which doesn't help you. If I say it sucks, it doesn't really give you any idea where to go from there. So I understand. But it wasn't rage bait and clickbait. Yes, it helped me pay my rent, but that's different. It's my job. I don't be negative for money. It just happens sometimes for games I like to be better than they are.
Emancipator exosuit sucks. I was like, okay, but can you sort of try to elaborate?
Yeah, you're right.
Third one is, this was a post made on Facebook. A lot of
the post is a lie. Anyone else feel like the game is losing momentum? First 3 months were great. The first update in the first month was not good. What are you talking about? Change the AI, nerfed the gun for no reason because folks liked it and it was popular. Breaker, they actually said that themselves, essentially. They nerfed a railgun for the wrong reason. And they nerfed Bubble Shield because people didn't like getting one-shot by rockets. That was the first update. The other content was amazing, though. In the first 3 months, sure. But now everything just seems a bit repetitive. Every video game is repetitive. What do you expect to happen? That's crazy. The first 3 months were great. Maybe that was a time where they weren't pumping out content. I feel like they don't add anything new soon. They'll lose a lot of players because we've seen all the leaks and know what's out there, but they continue to hold on us. They have a bunch of stuff that there's leaks for from essentially a year ago that still aren't out.
Players were saying that the game is losing momentum. And
but screw leakers, IMO.
It wasn't that we weren't releasing a ton of updates and a ton of content, but the cadence that we had at launch had slowed down a little bit because all of the unfinished content that we used to wrap up to get that initial engagement from players was running out. And we hadn't articulated our roadmap or any plans for how are we going to manage this game long term. So a lot of the community was frustrated and saying like, well, it's over once again. And really what we had to do is just say like, no, we're going to slow down development a little bit. Like we need more time to cook. We're going to release updates every 6 weeks and so forth, and then articulate it to the community the way that the game was going to be run. And at that point, this issue sort of went away to some degree. And the other...
He's been watching the streams. Like I said, I really hope the devs don't watch my streams. This stream has been very tame. The ones where I actually play the game, they're not the greatest. I have anger management issues I'm trying to resolve, but they're only directed towards this game. I'm very compassionate in real life, but when a game goes a direction I don't like for a long time, it builds rage inside of me. It's very... I don't know how to handle it. It happens in literally all the games I play that they go a certain direction.
Alternative, if we had just listened to the community, would have been
Last stream wasn't so tame. I know.
Make more content and just cram more stuff out there. But really, the game doesn't need that much more than the cadence that we're already on, especially if we want it to be sustainable over a very long time. So, but you can also use the community to great effect. Like, I asked the... Let's see if that's, yeah. Oh. So I asked the design team, it's like, can you come up with your best ideas for new stratagems based on the Eagle, so the fighter jet that comes in and helps you out during missions? And the design team came up with, I think, 5 stratagems that they thought were, like, this is a good selection, and we can maybe develop 1 or 2 of them. And I was like, 5, it's like, there must be a better way. And they spent some time on this, maybe a week, thinking about which stratagems we were going to add. So I'm like, I think there's a better way of doing this. So I posted online on Twitter. It's like, okay, give me your best Helldivers 2 Eagle stratagem ideas. And I got 5.5 thousand suggestions. And then I told the design team, it's like, okay, what you can do is read through this thread and take the ones that you like. Instead of being a designer that just works with coming up with things, let the community be the brainstormers, and then you can be the discerner as the person that understands all the complexities and intrinsic. I shouldn't use these complex words.
Intricacies. I got you, big dog. Don't worry.
But the complexity of the game. And I think using the community in this way is such an engaging and fun time, like, because you can sit there and chat with the community, and it's like, oh, that's a good idea, and it's like, why do you think about that way? And what it does as well, it builds the community to really care and know that if that guy's idea got picked up and is now in the game, the reason for me to interact with developers, not just to complain, becomes so much greater. And the second is just spontaneous ideas that come from the community. It's like the community naturally comes up with, great ideas for your game. And they post them somewhere. And it's like, we as developers have a tendency to go like, well, that's the community member. It's not one of our designers or developers. So it's like, these are fan ideas. But, I mean, it's good.
I'm not sure what this says, but it says immune to damage taken from, I'm not sure what exactly, will not be ragdolled. This community hurts my heart. We're not making armor passives for ragdolls. We're going to go ahead and have them reduce how often they happen. Pretty please. This one I can kind of like. Fire damage taken reduced. I'm assuming that means the direct damage. Catching flame requires sustained exposure. That would make it a lot more fun to use the fire weapons. That, like, honestly, that alone would be huge for fire weapons. They should just do that. I'm not sure why we don't have that. That should be what happens for our current fire armor. Just add on the other aspects here. Call it a day. I'm not really the biggest fan of adding more sentry turrets. TBH. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. I want them to make a mission or do something to where we're not encouraged to bring things that auto aim for us. I really think that players would actually experience the game in a better way if they maybe it wouldn't be a good thing, but it'd be cool if more people brought things that they could rely on through their own aim versus having everything be killed for them by auto aim. Whether it's your stratagems, which it's not auto aiming, but it kills it before you shoot your own gun, essentially.
A good design is good design,
Never
no matter
happening,
where
I
it
know.
comes from. Lift things from the community.
I can dream, though.
Build it into your game, and embrace the way that the community can help you build your game. You're still in the driver's seat, don't get me wrong, but getting another person's point of view is great, always.
We need more emplacements, like Dozer just said. Emplacements are goated. They're always fun. You're aiming it. That's the bridge between no skill auto aim gaming and Chad forward thinking, placing it in a good spot, vantage point, murking down bad guys or bugs, squids. That's the difference right there. I just like whenever you get to aim something. It gives it more meaning when you take things out. It is pretty cool to see a big kill streak, though, from like a Tesla tower, for instance, but still.
So, and lastly, lastly.
Why rely on your aim when the enemies are more jittery than ever and scope sway is at its worst? Because then people would actually complain about it and we get change. If we continue down the road where everything stuns and makes it so enemies don't move so you can actually hit your shots finally, or just having insane stratagems, Napalm Barrage, for example, people don't really talk about aim that much. They think that aiming is fine. If you can't aim, you're bad. Meanwhile, the same folks that say that cannot aim. They can't aim in games that give you pinpoint accuracy, let alone Helldivers 2, where there's so many mechanics that make it to where aiming is just a nuisance. It's a detriment to your livelihood, essentially. But that's why I think it would be helpful. Plus, it'd be fun for me. Because I can aim in this game.
Plays way more than we will ever do as developers. Like, the hardcore members of a community, and probably a lot of you that played World of Warcraft back in the day that spent too many hours online. And imagine the developers over at Blizzard during those days. They don't have time to keep up with the community. So we have to see the community
PC's making noises
because they are more of experts when it comes to the game than we ever will be. Unless we, of course, stop developing and then just play the game all day, which is what a lot of people think I do when I say that I'm working games. But at least my grandma. Yeah, rest in peace. Anywho.
What?
And in doing
so, throwing out someone that's alive.
It's one of the things. One of the reasons why we seem to have resonated with the community is through our use of diplomacy. We want to collaborate with them, and because there's so many people out there, when we talk to the community, when I talk to you in this room, I don't know how many, it's hard to gauge how many people, but let's say 100 and something people in this room. Whatever I say, I will have said in the amount of ways that there are people listening. So the message is not what it is when it's said, it is when it's received. So therefore, if I post to a community of however many millions.
I'm not reading that resub, Revitox. Thanks 8 months, though, psychopath.
I have to be extremely careful with how I formulate myself, because anything can be taken out of context and misinterpreted, misconstrued, and strongman and strawman.
What's a strongman argument?
Hand, when the community speak, we have to steel man the crap out of whatever the community.
How many man arguments are there?
So it's you can't match the way that you talk to the community with the way that they are talking to you. You always constantly have to be more humble than they are. And lastly, I think compassion when speaking to your fans is like the most important tool you can have.
It's so difficult. I'm a content creator. I have a bunch of people on the internet respond to comments, and I've read so many negative comments that I come out the gate swinging half the time. I've been calling folks Fish Farm Frank recently, or Phone Farm Franks, because you guys know that in other places they have phone farms set up to where they just like leave negative comments to give you engagement for some reason. Anytime someone leaves a really dumb comment and they have four numbers in their name, I assume that they're a phone farm Frank. And I usually don't respond the nicest. I don't say anything too out of pocket, but tips lose weight. find foods you like to eat less of them, and find more foods that have less calories for more volume. Oh, focus on fiber and protein. That's going to be massive for you. When you wake up, drink a bunch of water, drink some electrolytes perhaps, and try and get more steps, which is more activity to burn more calories. Sorry, Doe, you're just not articulate enough. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
If you're angry or
You're
upset
right.
about something, take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about that person as a cherished customer, a cherished gamer, somebody that loves your game, and they really want to play more of it.
Okay, back to me real quick. This is what I'm talking about, actually. It reminded me of this exact moment today. Ooh, Arc Raiders comes out. There's going to be like maybe an Arc Raiders playtest tomorrow. I'm interested. Community responded to. Boom. Dark Tide's awesome. Blah, 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 blah. Where is this comment at? Oh, here it is. I made a tip video that applies to a whole bunch of people. There's in-game tips and whatnot. It's for Schedule 1. And they said, who are these for? I just said, people who want tips/advice. What's the point in making product to make money in a game about making product to make money? Because they said, the video should have been called How to Play Pointlessly When the Game is Over. Meanwhile, like, I'm giving tips to make money in the game. And then they hit me with, your game is not the game anyone looking for tips is playing. Yeah, my bad, brother. Here, I'll give you a present. For your general stupidity in farming engagement with argumentative and unsubstantiated word salads. What? I'll remove your channel from ever getting in my feed again. Yeah, like, screw this Muppet. And I called them, it gotta be a fish farm phone. I don't know why I called them a fish farm phone, but that actually seems more hurtful than saying fish farm Frank. You see, I just don't really have too much compassion for these kind of people. I think they got CTE from trying to box their stepdad when they're a child or something. I don't know. I don't think that these are the people I should be compassionate for. But realistically, I shouldn't respond. It's hard not to. I read comments a lot. Thanks. Yo, Jose, thanks for 10, brother. No problemo.
And then you can start interacting with them from that perspective. And since this was originally going to be a sham stock, he has a lot of examples from when I did it, when I posted. So this looks a little bit narcissistic when I do quote from myself. But yeah.
Mario's phone farm, Frank.
People review bombed the game. And I was fuming, I was super angry. And this was my response, like, ouch, right in the review score. Well, I guess it's warranted. Sorry, everyone, for how all of this transpired. Hope we'll make it up and regain trust by providing a continued great game experience. I just want to make great games. And that's actually my core belief. That's what I think. But if I had typed just what I thought at the time, it's like, stop review bombing the game. It's not helping anybody. You'll get the game shut down.
That's not gonna happen. Nah. They weren't gonna freaking shut the game down. You made too much money out the gate. What is it? 17 million copies sold? There's no Game Pass. Wait, there's no Game Pass. There's no Xbox. Hopefully we get that in the future. They don't shut the game down off that. They're gonna probably give you enough time to sort of get things figured out. Considering that this was around the time. No, that's a lie. When did Concord fail exactly? It was after that. Wait, could you imagine they're like, Helldivers 2, we appreciate what you did. We have bigger fish. We have bigger fish coming out. We have to support. Concord, it's our new game of choice. This is going to be box office breaking. So to make more room for that, we have to get rid of you. Your score just can't keep up. That would be crazy, imagine. Real quick, currently 470 pounds, going to be tough, but I started walking 10K steps 5 days ago and eating right, just having issues with nutrition. I mean, it takes time. Your body can also hold on to storage waste for a while. Like even me, when I'm gaining or losing weight, there's times where I'll feel more bloated just because my body's holding on to waste just because it wants to. Like there's no real science to that necessarily, but just do the right thing over time and you will see the change. That's just how it works. It's time in and consistency. That's exactly how you change your life, especially when it comes to fitness.
Same here. It's like
your fish farms.
So many people in the community said nice things during a really tough time. I mean, the majority of it was hate. But just recognizing the people that that said nice things, like, no, keep going, you're doing great. It's like, I thought of that and reached out.
Wait a minute, this reminded me, Twitter. I don't post a lot on Twitter, so it'd be really easy to find this. This will be super easy to find. This is either good or bad. Wait, there's something happening at freaking Apex. I'm super confused. I'll look into that later. I gotta find my posts. Ignore my banner. I legit feel like a career beggar as a content creator, and it bothers me so. I'm trying to take money from companies, not people. You like my progressive overload? That's a genius strat right there. I need to find this tweet. Weapon swapping. Wait, this may take longer than I thought. Surely not. Also on Twitter, I'd be mad talking trash about games, bro. It's kind of a problem. I need to lock in. Give me a second. I'm almost there. Almost there. We're still going. Maybe this was a mistake. Oh, Battle Titans take 25 shots to the forehead from Emancipator, and most players won't be that precise. See? Hey, that's crazy. It's not the tweet, by the way. It's better at killing Fracture Striders, but gets bodied by tanks and the 1.21 billion rockets being shot. Hey, man, I'm articulate. Just not in that video. It's different. Turns out nerfing meta to please the masses when nothing has ever been objectively overpowered was a silly thing to do. All that's happened is weapon variety has been made worse while enemies were buffed basically every patch. The balanced team has done a terrible job. Still true. To an extent. There's a tweet I made saying that Helldivers 2 is the best. It's the most fun I've ever had playing a game. And I gotta find it. And see, look, this modifier has hidden debuff. It goes something like 90% chance of finding a different mission that lets you use more stratagems. Every automaton mission had that debuff, by the way, for the most part. Okay, I don't tweet a lot, but I still tweet more than I thought. What is happening? So, any collabs with other rage baiters anytime soon? No. Oh, and here's the heavy machine gun is fine. It's just out of a bore. Helldivers 2 players might be the most misinformed player base in all of gaming. The red dot on HMG isn't centered, you goobers. Yeah, I'm basically everything I've been talking about is substantiated here. Reading his own Twitter feed. It's for a reason. I'm looking for something important. Give me a second. Where is it? Why do I tweet so much? It's not a lot still, but damn. It's gonna happen. Oh my lord, I found it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. May 4th to May 7th. May 4th. Helldivers 2 is the best game I've ever played. Game itself keeps me coming back to learn something new and improve or have a great time playing with whoever I might bump into. CEO is immensely based, and I respect their view on games and open communication. It's a game for gamers. 3 days later, because this is when the first update happened where they nerfed Shield Backpack, they nerfed Rogan for the wrong reason, and they nerfed Breaker because it was popular. And they also changed AI on enemies, namely bugs. All the stealth changes or bugs that nerfed/buffed random things has absolutely ruined Helldivers 2 at the moment. AI of enemies is cracked out. We're taking more damage after the armor fix. Railgun nerf makes no sense and probably only happened because of the PS5 buff, letting us two-shot Battle Titans. Fix that bug, and Railgun takes at least 6+ shots to kill a Titan on unsafe pre-patch. Which I proved right here. I said positive things. on Twitter, a place that I get no compensation for, and I just want to put it out into the world and say those nice things. I try to talk about the PS5 bug here, and I even replied to Piles, left on red. It's fine though. It is what it is, boy. But I am in that 1% of people, or that 1 out of 5 people that says nice things about games. And I do it for more than just this game too. If a game really is good, I'll go on Twitter and make a tweet that goes to less than 1,000 people for zero compensation, no money, just to do it. You said scroll up. I ain't scrolling up, you gooners. You weren't articulated enough. That was pretty articulate. I talked about what they did. These changes are not like they nerfed and buffed random things, which is true. And the armor, that was another thing. When they fixed armor, we took more damage. I also made a video talking about that way back when. Anyway, that took a while, but you love V-Rising? I've said V-Rising is a great game on Twitter. Honestly, Twitter's a good place to go to see what I really think about things. You're supposed to phone the fish farms on Twitter, you goober. That's my bad.
Of this. And this is probably one of the most famous
Frank?
ones. Like, the servers couldn't handle more players coming in.
You guys are trolling.
I told the community,
That's negative.
like, if you have no cash, get the game later. While we made a really fun game, it's worth waiting until servers can support the capacity. I mean, as a CEO, of course, I want the game to be as profitable as possible, but if you spend your last dollars and get stuck in server queues, I'd be heartbroken.
Time to go band for band. Guess what, Piles? I could afford to buy a homie of the game copy. You couldn't? I mean, if you're a brokey, just say that. Oh my goodness. I bought some of the game once. Just once, though, because friends do soon.
And this got picked up almost everywhere, and after I tweeted
YouTube
this,
emotes are so bad.
5 minutes until I got a call from our dear partners over at PlayStation asking what I'd been smoking. I'm like, no, trust me. It's like we have to be compassionate with the community. We have to build that trust with the community for them to trust us. Well, yeah. And we have to empathize in the sense that we are stewards of Helldivers 2 now.
I'm going to start saying it like that from now on. I'm here to empathize with you. I'm saying it like that from now on. That's a new way of saying that word, unlocked, and I'm keeping it that way. That's max prestige right there.
We're not the developers
That's
anymore.
it.
We're shepherds.
That's it.
And that are responsible for maintaining, building this game for the community. But it's not entirely ours. Like, the game belongs to the zeitgeist, to the community.
What is it?
And if we do
Empathize.
anything against the community, we will no longer be
Empathize.
so.
That's the word.
We only exist by the will of the players. And the problem here is that any one person in the community feels powerless against us as developers, because to them, we have all the power. But in reality, the community has us by the neck.
Yeah, we do. I need to figure out what this word is right now. Oh, it's not a real word. It's not a real word. Classic YouTuber move. I knew there were YouTubers at Arrowhead misspelling stuff when trying to make an infographic. That's a classic.
Because if everybody stops playing, there's going to be no more Helldivers 2.
I'm not making fun of a non-English speaker. I think it's actually hilarious because I mess up words too, and I speak English only. Singular.
And
only,
the reason why
one language.
Sometimes the community is very adamant and angry is because we seem like a faceless organization, and especially bigger organizations than us. And we've been kind of open, but to them, it's still a monolithic entity that it's hard to demand accountability for all the things that are being done. I mean, the ancient proverb, vote with your wallet, actually does apply to games. And when we saw these kind of massive review spikes, it started hurting our profitability of the game. It does have an effect. So, but we could have avoided that by being more open and listening to the community and empathize with the position that they're coming from.
Helldivers 2 is a far more open game than a lot of other games. Not all, but a lot. Ideally, it would be cool if they could give us more of a heads up on what's going on, Because even as a creator that gets secret stuff, sometimes I feel as though we ain't getting told that much. But it takes them a bit to work on things in the meantime of what's going on. Like, for instance, when y'all heard about that whole... When y'all saw that infographic today, or yesterday, I saw it the same day it's the same day as you, I'm pretty sure. But I do believe that they're more forthcoming than a lot of games I've played previously, especially large games. Like Helldivers 2 is not a small title. This game had literally millions of players. It can be difficult to try and communicate whenever you know that people can take things a certain direction, and you kind of want to not tease people with something that you can't deliver on in a timely fashion.
Yeah, and we work every day to ensure that we should try to fight this as much as possible, so that players don't feel like they have to raise their voices and do clickbait, do scream into the void and rally their troops to just review bomb us to get some kind of change. Instead, we nip it in the bud by constantly talking to the community. And of course, it's risky to be out there talking to the community. You might get a lot of harassment or whatever, but game development is a risky endeavor. And if you don't take risks, unfortunately,
this guy needs to take a class in communication and speaking on stage. Daniel, you couldn't do this. Why are we saying that right now? Listen, if you can't understand what he's saying, that's on you. Or maybe you don't speak English. That's fine. But so far, what he said, you can pretty much you can understand everything. And whenever he doesn't have the ability to articulate a point the way he wants, he moves on quickly. I feel like he's doing a good job. There's no need to be weird. Bro? What do you mean, bro?
I think that you're not going to be able to survive in the modern games industry. So, the final takeaway is really that we are all in this together, developers and the community, and we have to become really, really proficient at being there where the community is, talking to them constantly, listening to them, and understand sort of the inherent biases and sides for what's it called? I lost my word. What?
Hey, what are you doing? I just gave you props. What we doing? Lock in.
Sometimes English.
True.
Yeah. Well, the positions that we come from, really, like we as developers seem to have all the power. The community thinks so, and so forth. Like there's a lot of foundational assumptions within the community of how this works. And if we can counter that every day by being with the community, I think that we're going to be able to build the most awesome communities in the world. But we have to apply ourselves, and we have to think about how we do it.
Also, presentation points are the most non-relevant issue in the gaming industry. Communication is a big issue. Are you okay? I feel like you're flat out being negative for the sake of it in this case. Because communication is a massive factor that goes it goes a long way. You can build repertoire with your player base if you actually talk about what's going on versus just staying silent. The worst thing you can do these days is just be quiet unless you're doing like a shout drop for awesome content. Like there's instances where it works, but communication is a massive key that a lot of devs don't use or studios don't really take advantage of. Like Apex, for instance, recently they started being more communicative. It has helped them immensely to just build more of a relationship with the audience that otherwise didn't trust them. Communication is a big deal. What are you talking about?
And really, that's what I have to say. So thank you.
Rapport. I think repertoire is a cool word. I'm not sure what it means exactly, but Google repertoire. It's a word. I'm confident.
Time for some questions, maybe. It's 4 minutes. I thought I would finish a little bit earlier. So questions? Go.
Wait, we have a microphone for you.
Hi. Yeah, okay, perfect. First of all, great game. Congratulations. It's very pleasant to play. The question that I had for you was, how much do you think the narrative was actually controlled by you? And how much was it just driven / created by the community itself? And subsequent question, in the case of the narrative is driven by the community, how do you as developers react to that?
So, so the question is how much is of the narrative is created by the community versus how much is created by us? I would say that it's about 50-50. So we have, if you remember the old Choose Your Own Adventure books, it's the entire Galactic War works in that way, where there's like, if you choose this, then go there. If you choose that, go there. But
We getting flashbangs? What was that? Who's out here pressing buttons?
sometimes, I mean, we haven't written out the entire thing. So if the community does something great, we have to react. And we have to become really good at adapting. In the same way as we interact with the community normally through conversation, we also interact in the same way when it comes to how we plan and build the game. And the way that we do this is, of course, having the game master in the office, constantly monitoring the game, being like the fly in the spider in the web, with all of the developers, saying like, hey, the community is doing this. I would appreciate if you could fit in your schedule to create this new weapon that I need for a major order or something else that relates back to the community. The problem with this is that it's hard to adjust on the fly at the rate that the community is moving, because they're moving so fast. So we have to sort of control the pace quite a bit, and then anticipate what the community is going to do. And that might be like option A, B, and C, and then we prepare for all of those three. And if we're failing that, like let's say we may only have the ability to cover A and B, and then if C happens, then we'll have to figure that out when it happens. So it's very much similar to everything that we do. It's focused on creating the most engaging moments for
Who's shaking
players.
the camera?
And just thinking about it from how
Can't tell if my eyes are
have a
breaking or
big
not.
say in what Helldivers is.
He's losing you? How's he losing you? He's basically saying that the devs, the players are the ones that complete the objectives set by the devs, but they have to sort of control the pace in a sense. And I'm assuming that they also tend to give us sometimes filler major orders because they need time to work on other stuff. Well, he's talking about having different options based on what the players do. If we fail, if we win. I'm not sure what option C is. I feel like there's only two things that can happen when you beat a major order. Like when a major order happens, you can fail or win. So I'm confused on A, B, and C in that case. But I can understand the whole 50% because there's also times that we're failing a major order and the devs help us out. That happened recently with the kill a billion. It was actually 1,250,000,000 illuminate. It kept going down by 250 million when we took planets. Are they ever going to release the Eagle air-to-air missiles? I'm not even sure what those are, dude.
Thank you.
Hi. Great presentation, great game. I noticed you used a number of different social media tools to engage with the community. Are there any tools that worked particularly well for what you were seeking and why?
Sort of. I don't think that
Let's talk about tools.
Particular tool that we use more than any other. We just try to be
What kind
where
of question is
the community
that?
Previously, we really had this, like, we're just going to do Discord.
Okay.
But then we have a massive community on Reddit. And therefore, we have to be on Reddit as well, because we can't just force people to abandon Reddit and come to Discord. And if we do, there will still be people on Reddit. And if we're not there, then those are voices and opinions that are not heard by us.
Hello, nice to meet you, and great presentation, great game. Also, I think I speak for everyone there. But I have like more a question. I have some big communities that I handle. One then is Among Us Brazil. And like you have a cooperative game, Among Us like a cooperative game, also that you have friends, have like like you said, some people feel powerless, but others don't, you know? And banning one members is affecting a lot of that. you know, like the friends, or if it's a streamer or YouTuber, you're affecting the player base of him. It's
Banning?
like how, and sometimes they're just, for the players, it's just a minor TOS problem. Why?
What are you talking about banning? I think I'm the only person that's been banned from Discord. Like, I'm not sure if people have been banned from the game. What is he talking about?
You're banning him. This not should be banned and blah, blah, blah. So players feel that's not necessary. So how you handle with the people that are not so, don't feel powerless, you know? And like they have a large player base or friends just making complaints and this type of thing.
What is he
about
talking
just
about?
one.
Sorry, what is the question?
Yeah,
It's like
yo.
how to
Same. What is the question?
handle with these guys have a huge player base behind him, like a streamer, influencer, and they are just making complaints about that.
Okay, so the question is like, how do we deal with large players in the community? I mean, we have a sound relationship with the biggest streamers and influencers in our community, and we treasure them. They help, they are
Look at the guy sitting down. What happened? I'm not laughing because he can't say. I'm not laughing that he's not proficient in English. It was just a very roundabout question.
Not so, don't feel powerless, you know? And like they have a large player base or friends just making complaints and this type of
He's
thing
like,
about just one.
Sorry, what is the question?
It's like how to handle with these guys have
Is he laughing?
a huge
Yeah.
player base behind him, like a streamer, influencer, and they are just making complaints about that.
Okay, so the question is like, how do we deal with large players in the community?
Listen, the only reason that's kind of funny is because it was a pretty simple question that took a long time. And hey, I speak English. I mess up words too. I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing with him. It's different. That was hilarious, though.
Into the conversation. Sometimes it works for them. They help.
Behind him, like a streamer, influencer, and they
I think
are
he's talking
just
about me, though.
making complaints about that.
Not even trying to have an ego or nothing. I'm pretty sure he's talking about me.
Players in the community. I mean, we have a sound relationship with the biggest streamers and influencers in our community, and we treasure them. They help. They are super important. They're champions of the game, for better and for worse.
Hear that? I'm a
if
champion.
they have a lot of complaints, we have a tendency to just reach out to them and say, like, hey, what's up? And invite them into the conversation. Sometimes.
Stop saying complaints. He complains. Stop it. That's not nice. It's funny, but it's not nice. You guys need to find some kind of savior.
It works. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's to their discretion. And just the fact that they are creating content for our game makes our game be relevant, even though it's really negative and bad.
Who keeps shaking the camera, bro? What is this? Record on a freaking iPhone with like a rinky-dink tripod? What are we doing? Who is hitting the camera constantly? Kick them out of this talk right now. They're driving me insane.
It's still content that helps support the game.
Just one last comment. We're going to take one more question because we are over time and we have another session starting now.
Oh.
Sorry.
There's so much pressure to this now.
Be good.
Thanks, Omar. Hi, I'm Corey. I'm a narrative designer on Call of Duty.
Dang, Corey.
I'm curious. So I've encountered a lot of like very spicy feedback in my time working on a large title, and I've had kind of the misfortune of becoming a bit known on Twitter when game updates go out and people kind of see the game in my bio. But I'm just a designer, right? I'm implementing VO and doing things unrelated to these large changes. I'm curious at how you distill feedback from the community for your designers and for your developers so that they...
We're busting out distill on the Swedes? Are we good? It's unnecessary. It's a max prestige word. Calm down.
can stay in the know without necessarily being in front of the spotlight. And then in turn, like, how do you protect them or media train them so that they're not, you know, in the line of fire as much?
Yeah. So we have one designer that that got really in a hot seat online, and it was not that great. So it's just
I know who he's talking about.
So one thing that we talk about is a lot.
I forgot how to
about
say
the
his
us
name
and
though.
them
It's,
and
it's
sort of the
Alex,
diagnosis and how to
Alexi.
interact with the community with compassion and empathy. So preparing our developers for how to interact online and sort of have that
Bro
compassionate
said
attitude.
spicy.
And not be that faced with, like, it's easy for somebody to just go online and just be keyboard warrior. And it's like, well, you have to have a little bit of thick skin. And
Yeah, you do.
we want the developers that do interact online to be aware of this. But then again, when it comes to like, somebody getting death threats, we take that super seriously. So
Okay, wait. I'm not laughing at the death threats. That's not cool at all. The fact that folks give death threats over this kind of stuff is ridiculous. But calling him Mr. It Slaps is kind of... It reminds me of Mr. Worldwide. Instead, it's Mr. It Slaps. It's good stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure why folks get death threats constantly, but I actually got one recently because I said support players hold the key to enjoyment in hero shooters, and someone got really mad at like my reasoning, and they said KYES minus the E. It's got to be someone that's like barely able to type on a keyboard or phone. But yeah, people just get mad and they feel they can say that, which didn't hurt me because I don't know this person. If I did, like, I'll win that fight all day. Anyway.
In place to help that person through what they're going
If I was a kid?
if that were to happen. And also, of course, we take action seriously.
Catch his
like
hands.
if somebody gets a death threat, we immediately then report that to the police so that they know that these things are going on. And especially when it comes to like, things that are that serious, when people start stalking, harassing, and it getting more beyond, somebody that's keyboard warrior saying like, this game sucks. And it's like, okay, sure, that it's not that hard. But when it starts becoming personal attacks, it's very important for us to show up as an employer for all the employees and ask them, it's like, well, you don't have to do this. It's completely voluntary to talk to the community and to be exposed to the online crowd. And then to the other question in regards to how do we distill community feedback from the community, it's a natural part of everyday life at Arrowhead to talk about what the community is saying. It's kind of like discussing what was said in the news. And we have a Slack channel where all relevant things from the community goes. So it's like, oh, this thread on Reddit is interesting. This thing is interesting. So it becomes a natural part of just everyday life in talking about what the community is saying.
For a day straight.
Johan, thank you very much for being with us today at Community Clubhouse. I feel like we could have gone for another hour. One more thing, please fill the survey and join us after 5 p.m. for the happy hours and when we're going to serve beers.
All right. Could be DMCA-able elevator music. You never know. This is the GDC talk. If folks don't want to have my commentary. Camera guy giggling. That's why camera's shaking. Why is he giggling? What's he looking at? The camera guy had to have been on an iPhone. I refuse to believe it wasn't that. Oh, what is this? It was a GDC talk. You can see that. Games. I think it's not games done quick, because that'd be kind of weird. You got like games done in cuck. What does GDC stand for? They expect me to know the acronym. Gamers domesticate cats. Gaming done conveniently. Oh. Game Dev Conference makes a lot of sense. That makes a Game Dev Convention makes a lot of sense too. Wait a minute. The more you know. The more you know. Games done articulate. Games done complain. That dude had... Dude, there's no way he wasn't talking about me. Because who else got banned? Who's been banned from the game or talked about being banned? Watch. OhDough banned from Helldivers to Discord. Discrod. Hey, all I'm gonna say to you right now, this is still one of the best thumbnails I've ever made. I mean, come on now, Shun. Come on now. It's a pretty good thumbnail. Eric Cartman. Mod on the beanie. Okay, this is a clickbait title. This is a clickbait thumbnail through and through. Banned from Helldivers 2. And the video didn't even do that well, dude. Because one thing about videos, just because you get a bunch of views doesn't mean you got paid well. Mute. Analytics. Like this is sad. Hello? Yo, whatever's happening there. Verify it's me. What? Am I being hacked right now? That'd be pretty unfortunate. Yeah, 106 for 59K. That's terrible that's honestly really bad for YouTube, even for gaming content creators. Ideally, you want around at least like upper end of $2 per 1,000 views. Respect my authority. What is this nonsense? So I think he's talking about me. Ego could be showing. I think he's talking about me. I need to put the window closer to the middle so that it doesn't happen. Really? I feel like it happens more than that. Like, watch. Look, if I... Oh, you're right. That's super dumb, though. Like, why is that? Can you disable that? I'm about to install Linux. At least I'll think about it really heavily. All right, chat. What do y'all think about that video, Juego? Apology vid for the views. Those actually do pretty good. Those do pretty good. But I'm telling you, man, positivity is what gets you the most views in Helldivers 2. The fact that people think that rage bait and clickbait... Okay, clickbait, that works regardless. And that's... Amen. If other folks do it, I got to as well. What? Oh, man. I have two videos in front of me. One says good build. Other one says insane freaking... It'll cure all of these... It'll just change your life. Which one do I click? Huh. Like the only way around that is to build up notoriety to the point that people watch your videos, and even still, your vids get pushed out to millions of people randomly. Depends on your impressions. And new people will see your content that don't know you, and they'll still click the one that has insane, knock your socks off, unzip your yams, like just stuff like that. Clickbait works definitely. Look at Thornton. Yeah, clickbait's the key. Clickbait through your title and your thumbnail, that's how you get more views. Well, also, and if you have good content, it's how you maintain views. You should make an apology video for the getting banned and troll the whole community. I think it was funny that people, like, that wasn't even like a big deal, so to speak. I was more so upset with how they, like, I wasn't mad I got banned from Discord. I was perturbed because I couldn't get the patch notes as easily, but I didn't like the reason I got banned because it didn't make any sense. Like, I didn't break the rules. They gave me rules, I followed them, and they still banned me. That's why I was annoyed. I don't like following rules to get in trouble still. It happens a lot on social media apps. I'd be damned if it happens whenever a human being reviews my content and says, oh, you broke a rule that you actually didn't. That pissed me off. Why didn't you put yourself on the Glazed Divers thumbnail? Oh, cuz. They banned you because you were rage baiting? Honestly, I don't know, man. I'm still shocked to this day that I got invited to Sweden and that I'm still in the Helldivers creator thingy. Like, they could have not picked me. And I definitely have negative content that they've seen. They've seen my content. Not all of it, but some. So I think that the devs are true to their words. Like, they want to make the game a good game. But I do believe that their direction is still flawed. Well, they can't ignore you. They can definitely try. My favorite is when your character goes flying and movement. Yeah, people like that. Oh, my brother wants to buy a stupid expensive embroidery machine, and I don't know why he's doing this. He is convicted about purchasing a 15 to 25,000 holy shit, embroidering machine to make products to sell. And he thinks that I can help him sell stuff, which I'll maybe sell a couple, maybe. But I told him it's not a good idea. Please don't do that. That is excessive. And by the way, he's not rich. He has a good job. It pays like $100K a year. He has 4 kids, a wife, and 2 houses. I pay rent at one of the houses. So, little tidbit, I'm very worried that might be an awful decision on his part. Embroidery? Yeah, embroidery, like embroidering things. Making hats, keychains, what is it? The flight lanyard things, that kind of stuff. OhDough merch. Honestly, I don't think I have a community for that, so to speak. Like I have some people that might be interested, but merch is a different situation. Like community wise, I probably have like 30 to 40 people, realistically speaking, that are like, oh, that dough guy's pretty cool. Maybe 100. Maybe 100. But aside from that, it's more so Dough makes educational content, we'll watch Dough's content. That's why like I don't really push the coin too much anymore. I don't even push the creatine which I don't even get paid for that, I don't think still. I don't really push too many of those things. These days, if I get paid by a company, I'll make an ad, sure. OhDough apparel win? I don't know. At least to me, I still think you should check it out though. Check it out. I had a character arc about Signal. Oh my god. We're not doing that again. I'm not even reading the rest of that comment. As long as you can move product and land good contracts. That's the thing though, it's an if. Like that's a pretty hefty investment for a thing that he's never done before. Like he's not someone that sells merch to begin with. He doesn't have a platform to sell in the first place. So banking on the idea of selling merch on that scale is scary. Because sure, if you sell like 1,000 hats, you'll make your money back. But 1,000 is not a small number. Like I have an audience, so to speak. I sold maybe 40 coins. And those coins, by the way, he told me to price at $20. I was gonna go with like 15, maybe like 12. He said 20. And I was like, 20 is a lot for a goddamn coin, but whatever. And now I don't want to change the price because folks already bought it. So I want to make a new coin and have it be like 15. Yeah. Maybe 12. We'll think about it. Damn, that's crazy. I wasn't even glazing the game. You just said I want to keep it a hidden gem, and then I just stopped reading after that. Get G-Sub sponsorship, but I don't like G-Subs that much. I don't mind recommending things that I don't use necessarily, like games, for instance. Hey guys, check out this game that I don't really care about. Hey, it's awesome. I don't mind that because it's not something you put in your body. It's something that you'll look at and say to yourself, maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Whatever, entertainment, who cares? With the GamerSup stuff, I don't think that gamers need caffeine. I don't think that gamers need caffeine at all. That being said, if they were to pay me money, I wouldn't go searching for it, but if they paid me money, I might accept it. Because I wouldn't feel too bad. I don't love the idea. I'd much rather do like a meal prep service instead. That seems 1,000 times more my speed, and it could actually benefit me too. So there's that. Versus, hey gamers, get yourself the new flavor of caffeine while you can sit on your ass and do nothing. It's awesome. I don't understand how those people make that much money. Like how are they selling so much GamerSup stuff that they're how? Like a one-time deal or recurrent videos? It depends. Like sometimes you get different deals. Recently, I've had Manscaped say, we'll do a tester. You don't get paid as much, but I still got paid pretty good, so I wasn't mad. And I could potentially have more lined up in the future. They haven't responded back yet, so we'll see. Can I be honest? Why buy GamerSups when you have coffee? It's because it doesn't have gamer on it. They could make gamer coffee. That'd be a smart idea. But honestly, man, I don't think people need caffeine necessarily either. I don't drink any caffeine ever. I don't have caffeine for the gym. I don't have caffeine for anything. I think that you can find things in your life that will give you energy. Just like you'll find things in your life that take energy away from you. Like, genuinely speaking, there's times I'm playing certain games and all of a sudden it feels like the wind has been sucked out of me. Other times I'm playing a game and I'm there for hours, fully energized. It all depends. So quite literally, your surroundings could be like sort of a pylon that gives you charge. Gamer coffee sounds so funny. It'd be really hard to market that like a better name. I think the draw is flavor too. Yeah, the flavor is nice, and the fact that there's so many different flavors, and they're supporting their creators. Because there was a time that I was gonna do a thing for G Fuel. Hey man, money's money. To a certain extent, it didn't go through. They just ghosted me. They sent me product. Literally, they sent me product for a collab with Remnant 2, the game, and they never responded back after I think I signed the contract. I signed the contract, and they just never responded back, which is so strange. It's been years at this point since that happened. I need coffee when I'm watching OhDough streams. Sometimes I need coffee when I'm streaming OhDough streams. But you signed and they ghosted you. I'm pretty sure I signed. I saw the emails, I'm pretty sure. But 1000%, they sent me product. They don't normally send you product until after you sign. But either way, either I signed and they ghosted me, or they sent me product and they ghosted me. Meanwhile, we agreed to like the deal. It wasn't like a crazy amount of money. And then they ghosted me. It's kind of messed up. What about the rest of the community? But I don't mind any sponsors as long as it's not a blatant scam. Some people do though. I remember I had people get mad at me for doing sponsors for games I was actively playing. Like my channel was a Dauntless channel way back when, like just Dauntless. One time I got sponsored by Dauntless to play Dauntless, and people were mad that I was doing a Dauntless stream. Or a Dauntless video sponsored by Dauntless. The game that my channel is entirely based on. That's the definition of you can't please everybody. Legit, yeah, I got called a sellout. I'm like, bro, what? And all the ad was, thanks to Dauntless for sponsoring today's video. That was the ad. That's all I had to say. And they paid me a lot to do that. I don't understand that. That was the best ad I've ever made. And it was the easiest ad I've ever made. I could probably find it, actually. Give me a second. Boom. I hate it so much. I hate whatever that is. I hate it so much. What? I hate it so much. Come on. What is this? Anyway, it's an older video. What's your community? Like I said, I don't really have a community, so to speak. That's the one thing I never built, and it is a problem. Whenever I get a sponsor on a vid, I can just fast forward to the end of the sponsored part of the vid. Yeah, and for me, I tend to like label the sponsored portion. Because I like whenever folks do that for me. When I'm watching a video and they have like, hey, this is the ad. Oh god. You can skip forward. I muted it. What? Oh, no, I didn't. You can skip forward. Type beat. They weren't empathizing. They weren't empathizing. I can't even say that word wrong or right. Empath. How do you say it? Empathizing. That's what it is. Empathizing. Setting systems multitasking. Okay. Setting systems multitasking is turn off snap. What? Snap windows to automatically resize and arrange them into layouts. No. When I snap a window, suggest what I can snap it next to. Show snap layouts when I hover over a window's maximize button. For now, I'm turning it off. There could be something to that, maybe. I saw a video yesterday, and the guy made the ad so brilliantly tied to the video that I didn't even know it was an ad until it was already over. All right, let's go ahead and hype up the other folks making ads. Respect. He needs a cult. That's what he needs. That's what some folks have. Like Flats has a cult. Frogger has a cult. Who else? Necros kind of has a cult. Shroud has a cult for sure. That's what you want as a content creator. You need a content creator cult. Otherwise, you're failing. But then again, the community stuff feels kind of bad. Like, you don't want anybody so obsessed with your content that it just seems kind of unhealthy. I don't want that. Like, I am very much so a person that kind of, I don't really preach it too much, but I believe in health and wellness a lot. Because a lot of your mental health is derived from your physical health, and people don't take anywhere near as good care of their physical health, and that leads to deteriorating mental health, which is why we have so many issues today, I think at least. Like, a lot of problems in today's current age is tied to your physical and mental health, or lack thereof for people. Can't just be on your own. That's true. Or more collabs. That's true too. I'm just a very strange content creator in that sense. All the things that make sense to do, I just don't do them. Get a voice change and become an anime girl. An anime girl VTuber, easy money. Not false, actually. Get out of your shell. The shell's safe. I like my sinking shell more than I like the idea of venturing out into greener pastures that may be riddled with thorns that are slightly uncomfortable. Some of the channel I follow mentioned YouTube Shorts help accelerate growth, but obviously you set the tone to get the community you want. Oh yeah, YouTube Shorts are godlike. If you can get in the algorithm for that stuff, it's insane. That's how pirate software popped off. YouTube Shorts. Honestly, short form content in general is kind of insane. But there's a method to it, so to speak. If you build the community around being healthier in a gamer, it'd be pretty healthy community IMO. What's sad about health though is a lot of people grift and like honestly, people talk about rage bait and clickbait and content creation for gaming. Bro, you have not seen the health sector. It's insane, the stuff that you'll just bear witness to daily. Oh, take these gummies and they'll speed up your metabolism. This will get rid of the bacteria in your gut because you have worms in your gut, and they're the reason you can't lose weight and you're bloated. Buy this random form of creatine. It's way better than monohydrate. It's this formulated blend it's ours. We made it. It's ridiculous. And that's just like the things you consume. Then it comes down to lifting and whatnot. And you'll have people that are like big figures in the space that make stuff up. I said figure, by the way. Like Dr. Mike with the fly press curl. You do a movement where it's a freaking I think it was you curl and then you press. Oh no, fly. You fly. What the fuck? You fly, curl, press. You can curl way less than you can bench for quite literally every person in existence. But yeah, that's just an example of how you probably wouldn't have, it'd be cool to have a community like that, so to speak. But no matter what you do, you're cultivating the community regardless. Some Dr. Mike and Jeff Nippard. Dr. Mike seems to be off his rocker recently. Everin, there's no way you're still talking about it. You're legit talking to yourself. You're schizophrenic in the chat room right now. That split personality isn't a personality. It's another person. You think you're talking to another person right now. You're talking to yourself. It's scary, actually. You may need some creatine and magnesium. Use code OhDough at echovision.com. There's a documentary in my country about supplements and how the pharmacists were pushing for them at each sale, even though you would not need them. Marketing and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's so much money to be made. There's just way too much money to be made off of sales and commission like that. Pretty much half of my net worth. Okay, that's not the right word currently. Half of the money I made through my content creation was from people using my creator code, or not half. A third to 20% of the money I've made as a content creator total came from Epic Game Store creator code. People buying things they were already going to buy and using my code made me an insane amount of money. So imagine what happens when you have products that are marketed to millions of people that they think they need, and the incentive there to try and have folks buy it from you, or you're getting paid by a company to market their products for them. It's in a sense sort of corrupt, because on the one hand you have, like, you know, a disclosed ad, so to speak, but these days you have health commercials that don't really feel like commercials. They think it feels as if they're just trying to lie to you. What happened to the factory strider lever dude? I'm not sure what you mean. Now. I feel bland. You'll feel less bland if you stop talking about the same thing constantly. Trust me, I deal with the same issue. I feel like these days I am very much so negative, more so than I really want to be. And I think that part of that is my current situation mixed with the time and effort I've put into certain video games that went a direction that just didn't make any sense. Like, at a certain point, whenever you invest your time into something and you watch it get self-sabotaged by the very people that made it in the first place, it's just ridiculous to deal with. Or get an ad agency, or by an agency. I tried looking for some. It's easier said than done, so to speak. Will magnesium really make me taller? I'm 5'3". I don't think so. No, I mean, I haven't read the studies, but I doubt it. I don't think that you get taller from magnesium. It is good for you, though. A lot of folks don't get their correct magnesium. Not that I'm saying you should go for the right amount every day, but I just take L-threonate, which is the more expensive version of it, but magnesium glycinate works too. It'll help you sleep at night, or it can. It's hard to speak in absolutes to certain things because not everything will treat you the way that it may others. Like caffeine, for instance, I don't think it really does that much for me. Other folks, it's a good pick-me-up. I don't think it really makes me that awake, so I don't take it. They gave you a gift and then smashed the gift in front of you. Do you believe you're a contrarian? I can be. I do. I definitely tend to see the more negative side in things. So yes, I'm probably a contrarian. Which sucks because I'm very positive about other aspects of life, and I'm very compassionate too. I'm pretty emotional sometimes, which is really annoying. Like, I can't have conversations about certain things with my family. I'll just cry. I do that freaking the ugly cry talking, where you can't even articulate what you're saying, which is already hard for me to articulate in the first place. So imagine crying while doing it. And it's not about like basic stuff though. It's about more important things. But still, is the date? No, we're just talking. Is it okay if I share some of my friends' based balance takes for Helldivers 2? They might be triggering. I mean, you do what you want to do. Caffeine's good for boring hours. If you guys have a hard time sleeping, make sure you're not taking caffeine past like noon. If you go to bed at like 10 p.m., for instance. Because what people would normally say is that caffeine has a half-life of 12 hours or something like that. Something along those lines. Basically, caffeine stays in your system for a long time. Doe's day 1 versus 190. Yeah. Oh, I'll put the link to the GDC, the Games Done Quick Talk in the description. But we already reviewed the thingy. Here, Would it be wrong to just have it up like this? Oh, I fixed it. That's right. What? Oh, it's kind of whack. Here. I can't tell if it's better or worse to have it like this. I feel like this might be a little misleading, but whatever. Big facts. I stopped drinking energy drinks at lunch, and it helped me so much with regulating sleep. There are so many aspects of your life that people just don't think about because why would you? Okay, I'm taking caffeine to stay awake because I'm tired at noon. Makes sense to me. But meanwhile, it's affecting other things that you really need to be working on. Like getting good sleep is paramount. If you could bottle sleep and sell it, it would be the most profitable thing that humanity's ever seen. If you were the sole person that could bottle sleep and sell it, you would be richer than any person ever in history. Eat too much in the morning? Potentially. So what I do recently is I wake up and I drink like electrolytes. I have essentially like 20 ounces of water. I take 10 grams of creatine. Most folks just take 5. And I have a scoop of electrolytes. That's what I take first thing in the morning. And then staying hydrated is also a massive factor. Like I guarantee that most people can't tell you how much water they drank in a day. Like they just guess. Which is the same thing that goes for food too. People just guess on those things. Adrenochrome. Wait. Isn't adrenochrome something from a video game? Is like a real life mechanic? Make Ball Titan heads and armor AP5 and belly AP3 so that you are forced to use anti-tank. I don't know about that. I think that our weapons already, like most weapons aren't even that good at killing them to the face anyway. Had a shotgun devastator to normal bots. Yeah, your friend's actually brain deficient. Holy shit. Your friend needs creatine. Your friend's takes are kind of terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. Make the crossbow AP2. Two-handed. Take away 2 reserve mags and increase its reload speed. Did your friend box his stepdad? 10 rounds? Get all the CT in the universe? What is he talking about? Is he a dev? A balanced dev. I'll rephrase that. I swear, I always have beef with balanced devs in video games. He's an Arrowhead dev in the making. That's his resume right there. Eesh. I ain't doxing my boy. Doxing. Can't give out his gamer tag. He'll get threats. What is creatine? Well, there's different forms, but creatine monohydrate is the most well-researched supplement in probably health science, so to speak. Maybe the world. And it helps your muscles hold more ATP. And they've also essentially researched signs that it helps your brain health as well. So creatine is a supplement that people recommend most folks take. Unless you have a pre-existing kidney dysfunction, then maybe you don't take it. But if you're an otherwise healthy person, there's pretty much no reason you shouldn't take creatine. It doesn't make you bloated. It holds water intramuscularly or intracellularly. And it just helps everyday average people. It also helps in the gym too. So double whammy. But it's a micronized creatine monohydrate. Just make sure it's third-party tested, and you should be fine. Will it help me be more articulated? No. And it may help you comply intracellularly. I didn't say that. Intracellularly. Will it rage bait me? Who knows? Perhaps, perchance. remember trying to get creatine through TSA. Oh yeah, I wouldn't do that. I was going to do the same thing when I went to Sweden, and I decided against it because it's really difficult to sort of explain away white powder. Hey, don't worry about that. That's just my Colombian creatine. You're what? It's for gains, brother. You wouldn't understand. This should lower the overall HP of a lot of enemies, like Alpha Commanders. Devastators aren't a big deal. I don't mind those guys. I think Devastators are fine because you can shoot them in the face. Like, they have, otherwise... Like, I think that Devastators might be one of the best designed mobs in the entire game. Aside from the times they shoot you sideways, that's just dumb. Like Shieldens, that's dumb. But generally speaking, I like how they function. Will that help be more articulated? Read more books. Takes so much time, though. Yeah, bugs are the most broken faction. Methinks. I don't know why this part of the presentation makes me mad. You just seem angry today. I think that you're just mad to be mad. I didn't understand the 1 million members on Discord part. Okay, that's a lie. This is the number they have, sure. But 7% of the community. I don't really... Like, define community. Is it just people that have interacted with the game in general? Like, it's kind of a... I feel like there's a lot more of the community in the Discord that actually play the game versus folks that don't play the game, especially now. And then 1.5% reviewed the games on Steam. They're basing it off of the total amount. So you have 17 million copies sold, if not more than that. Probably more than that by now. So they're referencing that number as the community. Right? 17 million-ish. Hello. Huh. It's not a good number, I agree. Because these days, you're lucky to get like 100,000 people. And plus, just having 1 million members on Discord, not everyone's going to be responding to something. I reviewed Helldivers 2, worship me. I think that... Is my review still negative? I think it is. Oh my goodness, it is. For new players, the game has a lot to offer until Sony, the publisher, changes their restrictions. On the 100+ countries, I'll keep my recommendation as a no. Hey, I'm true to my word. I said I'd do that, and I done it. Been that way for a while. My previous review was before they made some decent changes. One of the biggest fumbles in gaming history. I can't tell if it's incompetence, ego, or intentional self-sabotage to save on server fees. I'm not going to read any more of that. That was a very passionate article. That was a very articulate post I made, I'll have you know. Very articulate. Here's a rage bait hot take. You just need to get good against the conflagration devastators. You're getting one shot by them means you're just bad. What's funny is I prefer the fire bots way more than regular bots. Because even though you get one shot by a shotgun, which doesn't feel very great, I'd rather get one shot by shotguns than get ragdolled endlessly, which will almost always end in you dying anyways. Like there's not that many shotgun bots, but there was a ton of rocket devastators that would just be killing you on the regular automaton front. So when the incineration core was here, I preferred that a lot. I think the leadership of Arrowhead is kind of confused. Someone is sabotaging the game from the inside. It's just their perspective on games. Like I think that the Bounce team, they want to make it like a Dark Souls competitor, a milsim, so to speak. But milsim mechanics don't really work in a horde shooter to the extent they're trying to make them. They have those DEI employees. It's not DEI employees. I've seen. That's actually unequivocally false. It's not DEI. It's more so they just have a perspective on games that I don't think that real gamers, not real gamers, I don't think that most gamers hold the same idea. So in their in their defense, so to speak, they're targeting a niche audience, and they're doing just that. Because who do you know would rather have a game where most guns can't kill things efficiently and you die super fast, versus a game where you can kill things efficiently and you don't die insanely quick? Which one is more appealing to the masses? Okay, so the Discord mods, I do think is more of a DEI thing. That's, yeah. Bask is a nice person, though. Fun fact. Very, very kind. Now, views-wise, maybe disagree a little bit, but whatever. I can separate my views on a lot of stuff and just keep it quiet. I don't really care. I don't need the whole world to know or agree with me on stuff. OhDough secretly glazing Arrowhead confirmed. I try to be as logical as I can, because like I said, I'm contrarian, so I have to hold myself back from being too contrarian. Idea: rocket devs that shoot gas pods. Yeah, watch players just drop the game like flies. Really hope whatever they are cooking is good. I've been having fun playing other games, but I've been getting a big Helldivers itch again. Must be nice, dude. I don't have an itch to play the game. I want to enjoy playing the game. Oddly enough, I had fun doing the whole challenge stuff. I'm not sure why. Even though the challenges in some cases weren't that crazy, it was just kind of basic stuff. It was just nice to have a reason to play the game. Also, what up, Swaney? Where's that Glazer hat? That's the wrong one. It's in my closet. Or the Glazed Divers. No, I'm just kidding. Doe made it being a raise baiter. Yo, Swain, look at this real quick. This is a GDC talk that Piles gave, I think, a while back. March 17th. What the heck? Clickbait and rage bait. Little old me. This video was not even a good video on my behalf. I think I didn't articulate very well, like objectively. Before I even saw what he said in this talk, I watched the video a little bit and I was like, damn, I didn't really articulate anything meaningful here. But in the same talk, he showed a clip of this same exosuit taking forever to kill Battle Titan and how they decided to change it. So I wouldn't say it was rage bait. I would just say it was unintellectually charged grievances with the game, trying to make it a better place. Is your video clickbait or rage bait? Guess. Hey man, I've been partaking in the clickbait recently. I'm gonna keep it that way too. May as well. It is what it is, folks. Content creation. It's the way of life. Clickbait is the way of life in content creation, unless you're massive, in which case you just already have like a cult following and who cares. At least Arc Raiders is tomorrow. Yeah, what's going on with Arc Raiders? Is it just going to be an open playtest or what's going on? Because I saw that Operator Drewski had a video saying this game is going out tomorrow or something. Some of the things that I've said, I'm surprised I didn't make his slides. I'm still surprised I made it into the program in the first place. Because I've had a lot of negative videos. Like a ton of negative videos. Not for the sake of being negative, so to speak, but I'm still shocked. You had to sign up for it? I think you might still be able to on Steam. I think I did. Wait a minute. I think I did. Please, bro, please get me in. There'll be a friend invite, so there's a good chance you can play. I have bad news. Friends? Ain't got those. You should show him the guy talking about you. It's gonna make me look bad. I'm laughing at it already.
We have to react. So we have to so on and so forth.
Narrative
Or something.
The community.
And therefore we
Have friends, have like like you said, some people feel powerless, but others don't, you know? And banning one members is affecting a lot of them, you know, like the friends, or if it's a streamer or YouTuber, you're affecting the player base of him. It's like
Of him.
And sometimes they're just, for the players, it's just a minor TOS problem. Why you're banning him? This not should be.
There's no way he's not talking about me. And it's over the Discord ban. That's so funny. Oh my
ban and
god.
blah blah blah. So players feel that's not necessary. So how you handle with the people that are not so don't feel powerless, you know, and like they have a large player base or friends just making complaints and this type of.
I'm laughing with him, not at him. You've heard me talk. It's not very pretty, but yeah, he was essentially talking about me in this question, which I think is hilarious because it was not that big a deal. Complains. It's crazy how he talks just like my dad speaks English. You're literally him. Hey, Drew. I think a lot of your negativity is just good constructive criticism. I try to make it that way, but there are times I'm not very articulate as much as I should be. Like in that Emancipator video, I did not really elicit a point, and I think I harped on things a little too long that didn't really go anywhere. You aren't just hating on the game for views. That is true, because I think it still makes more sense, and it's always made sense to just say that things are good in the game, even if they're not good. Because people are looking for positivity. The folks that don't like the game are either leaving, they're either on their way out of the game, or they've already left. So if you make negative videos, you'll maybe attract that crowd, sure, but the majority of folks that are staying playing the game, they're just looking to essentially get copium. So if you can dispense copium, you'll get more views and you'll make more money. And plus, no one wants to go on the internet for the most part and see constant negativity. That's not why they're there. They're not looking to be entertained by a Debbie Downer, so to speak. Unfortunately, I've just seen the same thing happen constantly in gaming that I'm very much so jaded towards it all. In Dauntless, I saw like people's like the devs essentially nerfing fun for no good reason. It just didn't really make any sense. Then in Remnant 2, the same thing happened. And now kind of in Helldivers 2, which they're teetering back and forth between nerfing fun, bringing fun back. It's strange. Like honestly, I might be a bit of the fun police and say that some of the changes they made, they shouldn't have made. Like I don't think it makes any sense to destroy fabricators by just shooting them with rockets. I really do miss when you could just go up to them and shoot like actually into them. Like you bank shots off the duct. That was more fun than just shooting a quasar or a coil or something like that. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That was your best video? It was not. Even me watching it as the person that made it, I honestly want to delist it. It just wasn't a good video. It wasn't even that it was negative. I have plenty of negative videos that are worse than that and are honestly kind of not great from a PR perspective. But that one, it just didn't say anything. Like nothing good came from that video, I don't think. Oh yeah, if I ever point out any issues with the game, I get a ton of dislikes and people just tell me to play something else. Yeah, anytime, that's crazy too, because why would you want the people that have differing opinions to go play something else versus actually talking about it? Folks love the idea of an echo chamber until it actually happens. And then things go downhill something fierce. The video after the what video is one that says Emancipator suit is insane. Oh yeah, that one's good. That's a good one. See, the problem there is I should have just fully committed the bit, but I'm sarcastic, so I said it's insane, and then I don't think I really kept up the shtick. I mean, your cooking video. Oh, those cooking videos are like the cooking streams are getting more views over time. It's kind of nifty. It's famous the devs saw it and thought about it enough to add it to the slideshow. They probably thought, no, they added it because I wasn't articulate. They even said it. They said, sometimes folks aren't being negative for the sake of negativity. They're being negative because, or they can't articulate a point. So basically he called me unarticulatable, which sucks. Also, you get a bit passionate when ranting, but also that's good because it means that you care. So they understand that feeling of caring about a game, but the devs just fumbling so bad. I think it's the balance team still. We'll see though. I like Swaney said, I'm hoping the same, that they're cooking up something cool. And it needs to be more than the usual stuff that they think is cool. Like I still to this day can't get over Piles saying I think he said great rewards in reference to the whole mega nest and super factory area that you collect an item that gives you 4 supers, or is it 2 supers and 4 rares? We're so back coming up soon. I mean, I'll take it. For the past few months, I've been really trying to force myself to just be okay with things as they are and just play it. Because if you can accept things for as they are and make a video on literally everything, people will watch it for the most part, which is kind of crazy in this game. Like, to this day, I don't understand how people are like investing so much views into Let's Plays, for instance. Like a 40-minute video from multiple people will have more than 30,000 views. It's insane. Sometimes that just happens, though. People tried your tips and found them helpful, so they came back to watch them. That's why Cooking Stream is getting more views. Hell yeah. I should make a video talking about why you should never buy a freaking, what's it called? An induction stove if you have stainless steel. Because I have one, and unless you spend a lot of money, it doesn't really feel that good to cook on. It's okay for meat, but I don't like it for eggs. I gotta preheat my stove for 13 minutes to cook eggs properly. It drives me insane. Don't do that, you die inside. Not necessarily. I think that there's ways I can view the content to where I won't hate myself or the game. For instance, who is it? Colate, I think. I butchered that name a little bit, but he brought up the fact that you can kill harvesters quickly with the accelerator rifle, which gives it a reason to exist versus what it had before, and that gives me potential to use other items to have fun, like laser cannon, for instance. Laser cannon for the overseers, which is actually pretty good. And then I use the rifle to take out harvesters. Not too shabby. I had a bunch of videos planned for Helldivers, but the game just got so stale I gave up on them. Once a game feels like a chore, I stopped making videos on it. Yep. I was recording a bunch of content to try and make tier list videos, because those always do well, and more guides and whatnot, and I just don't have the passion, which sucks. To this day, I regret not making content faster on Helldivers 2. Honestly, if a game comes out and you put out information that's not intentionally bad, like you're just trying to be helpful and talk about it, and you just say like tip video or guide to X weapon, they freaking pop off. Like, I forget who it was, but this one guy made videos on primary weapons. Got 1 million views for Scorcher, and so on and so forth. Just Dominator got tons of views. Just talking about primary weapons. It really was crazy how you could take anything from Helldivers and make like a 10-minute video on it and get disgusting views. If it isn't weapon customization next, I'm gonna be so sad. I don't need that yet, but I would need a bunch of other changes to weapons. Same. I had 2 tier list videos I was working on, but getting all the clips I needed was just so draining. Dude, that's the exact same. Literally, bro, where is it? Like, I even went through the process of organizing stuff. I never organize. I usually just go through this. I'll just scroll through my clips and try and find it in like a 30-minute video. But I actually organized it a little bit, and I just gave up. Like, I flat out gave up midway through. Like Helldivers 2, clips. We have actually, okay, so this is different, but DSS death, funny, hover pack. So I was make a hover pack video. Then we have tier lists, sidearms, stratagems, primaries. I was going through the list and I just got bored, which sucks. Looks awful. Yeah, the way I normally edit is I just straight up go through all the footage. Like, oh, this video is like what? Oh, it's an hour long? I'll just skim through it. I really should label it, because after a certain time playing games, you forget what's what, and you spend way more time siphoning through footage versus just getting the clip. Complains. ARs need more durable damage. I don't even know if that's the answer. I think you just nerf stuff. Like, ARs aren't even bad against automatons. They're not good, but they're not bad. Like, you can use them. It feels okay. They're not great versus Illuminate because Overseers are tanky as all hell. And they're not very good against bugs because bugs are just tanky. Like, you just nerf Overseers a little bit. Make their head probably a faster time to kill, like a bullet. Use OBS and do the replay buffer, then just save replays for specific things. Then put them in folders after the match is over. What the? I may need to hop on the replay buffer trend. I've heard about that. I never used it. Like, honestly, for me, when I was playing Schedule 1, I had a much better process where I'd play the game, for instance, and I would record like 15 minutes. And then after that was over, I'd think about all the things I did. And I could quickly find everything I was doing. Because I couldn't quickly think about what's a good tip right after it happened. It was more, it took me a while to process what was happening. But replay buffer could be pretty sick. Because there are some times I make plays in games and I want to save it and I can't find it. Like in Overwatch 2, I speared a main to the roof and I can't find it now. And it drives me mad. I wish there was a way that you could create clips in a recording itself. So when you're streaming on Twitch, for instance, you can mark things and it'll give like a marker when something happened. If the same thing could happen in OBS, where I press a button and it, like I go into the recording and it has like a line in it, that'd be so sick. That's the future right there. I wouldn't dare to call the right spot. The eye, not good. Yeah, ARs are all right versus bots. I think for that front, it just makes more sense taking a marksman rifle whenever you one-shot things anyway. You think Outplayed does that? Is that a YouTuber? No, YouTube has clips. I'm talking about in OBS. Because I like to go to because on YouTube, I don't think that you can separate the audio like I can in OBS. I have 5 different tracks for audio. I've got the main track, which has everything. Then I have game track, my voice, Discord, and the 5th track is open to whatever it could be right now. I'll play the recording software. You can put markers in the recording. Oh, shit, boy. Dominate and record it. Outplay makes it easy to clip, save, and share your favorite gaming moments. Huh. Is it paid? Good question. Does anyone use Outplayed by Overwolf to record their game? That was 2 years ago. Folks definitely use it though. Honestly, every weapon should be able to headshot, one-shot a bot. That should be the baseline, and everything is built on it. Pretty much every game has it one-shot headshot except this game. I think that's a hyperbole. That's a very hyperbolic statement. It's kind of like me saying that you should be able to one-shot with snipers in PvP games because other games do it too. If you could one-shot headshot using assault rifles, there's no point using marksman rifles then. Yeah, I'm the same with that as well, Swaney. I like to stick to the things I'm used to. With content creation stuff, especially. Like OBS, for instance. Honestly, even using different chatbots is kind of daunting sometimes. Not the overall task, but the idea of the task. There's NVIDIA Shadow Play. You know, I'm talking about having like an hour-long video that just marks sections of it for yourself. So the video is still an hour long, but you can mark different points in it. But I could just try out the replay buffer and hopefully I can remember to press the button. Because it took me years to get to the point where I don't forget to record regular gameplay. Because there's few things worse than playing a session, getting sick, awesome content, and you never recorded it. And you also weren't streaming, so there's like nothing to show for it. Honestly, one of my most viral clips on TikTok happened like that. I wasn't recording, but I was streaming, so I got the clip and I posted it. It was like an Apex clutch moment or something like that. And if I wasn't recording, if I wasn't streaming, I would never have had that clip to show. Honestly, arrows should be good on bugs, but they run dry so fast and reloads are a bit long. That's what Grass said would be helping the most, is having faster reloads. You can hotkey the replay to save on the keyboard. Put mine on the F9 key, so I just press F9 anytime I need a clip. Funnily enough, I have F7 for my record button and F8 for my end record button on OBS. So F9 would make sense. But give them incentive to improve the sights and stats on the marksman rifles, etc. How? That's why I hated to record and then look up the whole thing to cut it up. Draining and boring to do. It is pretty boring, and I've just done it for years at this point. I'm just used to it, which is not a good thing. I'll probably install a replay buffer tonight or something. Am I a Zenyatta guy? Yeah, I am. In fact, yeah, I'm the Zen guy, and I'm the Sentinel Pathfinder guy / Newcastle. Where are these videos at? Footage. Zenyatta. And these aren't even like all the clips. Zenyatta fragging. Must be a low rank Zen player ulting lagging lagging on Zenyatta? Okay. I have a lot more, like, watch. This is my Sentinel clips. Oh, I was in the right place. Sentinel. As you can see, I really enjoyed Sentinel. And there's probably more. I labeled differently. Please overhead, give us bigger magazines or more mags and better reloads. I am curious what they do. At this point in time, I'm hoping they don't just give us a primary weapon customization, because folks are alluding to that happening in the first place. I would like to see something like a customization for support weapons. Because imagine if you could work towards an upgrade that makes it so your Quasar can charge on your back. The same thing it was doing with the bug that we just had. That'd be sick. That'd be content. It'd give players something to grind for that's actually impactful and cool. That'd be awesome. Yo, Daniel, have a good night, brother. Or have a good day at work. If they made the beam weapon CC their target, it'd be so much better. Yeah, but too much CC in this game just makes it so nothing moves. Why not both? Oh, you know, I mean both. I don't mean one or the other. I mean, it'd be cool to have both. Minus 25% sway in comparison, or minus 25 sway across the board makes aiming a dream in comparison. Oh, I can imagine. Honestly, I saw gameplay of Tarkov, and there's mention of how attachments make your guns aim way better. And it turns out that everyone that plays that game essentially just goes for attachments so you can run and gun. You can move while shooting. So it just creates a meta around it. Just tune in. What's the opinions for the GC talk? Have they represented as well? Well, it was Piles talking, so kind of. Honestly, Piles is a pretty good public speaker in terms of getting his point across. I think that Shams made a much more egregious conversation happen. Like, whenever he gave his discussion with that one guy, that one I had a lot more to say. I was baffled. It seemed like a bunch of contradicting statements were said by Shams. This one not so much. This was actually pretty good talk. That's what folks do in COD. Yeah, like that's the unfortunate part when it comes to attachments for weapons. If attachments are there to increase quality of life, then people will just go for the most quality of life enhancing effects possible. Versus if you have cool effects that happen, maybe your ammo types change, that that actually mixes things up a little bit. It gives you gameplay that is different versus your gun can aim better or aim worse. Which one should I do? Is the full talk behind a paywall? No, it should be in the description. Oh, it's not, my bad. GDC talk. Boom. I mean, I didn't pay for a subscription, and I've never been to this website before. Time check. 10:47. Shams feels like more of a people pleaser. His words don't hold a lot of weight, thanks to the QRD. No problem. Well, Shams, whenever he was talking, he said we made the game and 6 million COD players started playing it, or something along those lines. And then he was also talking about how he was talking about paying people, essentially, like paying his employees. Like he wants to be able to pay his employees, and he doesn't want to take on more employees because he wouldn't be able to pay them. But then the discussion becomes, you had 6 million COD players, a hyperbolic statement, that played the game, they gave you money, and now they don't matter, essentially, because you didn't make the game for them. They don't matter, so to speak. That's what it sounded like, at least. Not the best description of what happened, but during that conversation, there was just a few instances that it just felt very contradictory to what was actually being said, or to what happens in the game and their viewpoints on stuff. But I think I'm gonna head out, folks. I'm gonna go either play more Overwatch 2 Stadium or work on a Overwatch 2 Orisa build for Stadium, he thinks. And get some water. I think I'm dehydrated. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you all very much. It was a fun stream today. Thank you for that. And have a good day. Laters.